morning, I'm Eric Reeser. For the first time in history, a St. Louis Cardinal won baseball's home run derby. Jordan Walker outslugged Phillies DH Kyle Schwarber to take home the 26th Derby crown. The win came in front of a raucous Philadelphia crowd of more than 49,000 at Citizens Bank Park. MLB will hold their All-Star game tonight. Phillies ace Christopher Sanchez will start for the NL, opposite Toronto's Dylan Cease in the AL. Baseball's regular season resumes Friday for the Guardians and Reds. Cleveland hosts Pittsburgh, Cincinnati's in Colorado. In college football news, Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel told the Detroit Free Press he expects to remain at Michigan following a Board of Trustees meeting Thursday. The meeting's reportedly to decide Manuel's future at the school in wake of an investigation detailing several scandals inside Wolverine athletics during his 10-year tenure. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take a vacation from high interest rates with special rates on balance transfers at BMI Federal Credit Union. BMIFCU.org/consolidate.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy.
Good buddy, Austin Ward.
My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Isaiah in for Bake. Reese is here, which means we all win. Speaking of winning, pretty loaded up for you here on a Tuesday edition of the program. 9:30, former national championship assistant head coach coordinator finds a new home, a harbinger of things to come. We'll get to that. 10 o'clock, The Real Truth hits you pretty hard. Dommy coming up at 10:30, as is customary on a Tuesday. 11 o'clock, 20 most interesting programs. I believe the technical term is this is a big one. The Texas Longhorns will be our featured program today. We will take over the Horns, who, of course, we will see in week 2. Anwar Richardson going to join us to give us a little perspective on Hook'em as we're, a couple months now away from that game being played. So I got a text last night from Fish, and he texted me about the Home Run Derby on Netflix. And I'll be completely candid, I'd forgot it was going on. It just was not top of mind for me, and it's well documented. Baseball's not top of mind for me, but I do like a home run derby. I went to it up in Cleveland a couple years ago when Vlad Guerrero Jr. didn't win, but it sure as hell felt like he did. That's kind of the way I would describe that one. I can't even remember who did win. Was it the Mets guy? Maybe it was the Mets guy. Alonso? Did Pete Alonso win? I think Pete Alonso won that.
He's won one, but I don't remember if it was that one.
Vlad Guerrero hit like 60 in one round and then somehow didn't win it, and put on the show. That was the one redeeming thing I remember from it was the Vlad Guerrero Jr. performance in that home run derby.
He did, right? So he lost to Pete Alonso in 2019.
Okay, so that was the one. Okay, that was the one I was at. It's awesome when you're in the building for one of those things. It's awesome, and you could see it last night in Philly, but it wasn't top of mind to me, and I wasn't thinking about it, and so I got the text from Fish, and I thought I'll check it out. And there were two reasons I want to check it out. Number one, how many of these guys do I even know? And the answer was about half. Then the second part was, how was Netflix going to broadcast this? I was interested in that because we've seen them do football, but I hadn't seen them do something like this. We're so used to the ESPN production for really my whole life. The ESPN production has been the one that you remember for historically Berman with the back, and all of those things. So I turn it on, I start watching, and it appears that as I flip over, they are in the middle of a Will Ferrell bit with Luke Wilson, and from that, clearly a Netflix associated show called Hawk, I believe, or The Hawk, something like that, where Ferrell's like it kind of feels like he's kind of a Kenny Powers, John Daly mix character in it. I don't know when that show comes out, but he's been dressed like this for like 2 months now at sporting events. So he's doing this, and Luke Wilson's there, and I'm thinking, okay, well, look, you pay a lot of money for a home run derby. You want to advertise the shows that are on. This is part of the gig. I think we all understand that. And then they started tossing around to the other people that work. There were like 60 people working this thing. Like 60 people on mics. And one of the people on mics was Barry Bonds. I haven't seen Barry Bonds in 15 years. I don't know where he's been. I don't know he's been coaching. I know he hasn't been in television because I watch enough of the postseason baseball to know that he's not there. And here's Barry Bonds. And I'm listening. I'm like, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at this. Like I thought he was. I thought he was good. And I thought that his perspective was unique and fresh and on point. I think it was him and Pujols at like a side place with L. Duncan kind of just doing like commentary. And I'm like, put Bonds in the main booth with this thing. Like he's hit more than anybody. And I made a comment kind of under my breath. And the boys, Bootsy was actually excited. He goes, hey, the home run derby. And he was like excited to watch a little bit. So we watched for about an hour. And I said under my breath as the boys were there, like, man, Bonds is doing pretty good. And Bootsy goes, who's Bonds, Dad? And I went, oh, boy, how do we do this? How do you explain Barry Bonds? And what I went with was he's the best baseball player I've ever seen. That's what I went with. He's the best baseball player I've ever seen. And in my youth, he was the best baseball player I've ever seen. Ohtani's better now. Okay, fine, different world. But in terms of when I watch baseball all the time, he was the best baseball player I've ever seen. And I said he hit more home runs than anybody, and he hit 73 home runs in 1 year. And there was a stretch when it was better to walk him almost always than pitch to him. If you go and look up his baseball reference for the kids out there and just see his on-base percentage and some of the advanced stuff at that time, it defies all sorts of logic. So that was interesting. And they said, and then he's a Hall of Fame? No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. No, not in the Hall of Fame. Well, why? Well, he cheated. Well, what did he do? He took performance-enhancing drugs. He took steroids, and he was one of the guys who did it. And it was, it was proven, it was known, and it was so forth. And so that was the explanation on it. And then I started to think about Bonds for a second, and I thought about my initial thought of I haven't heard from him in 15 years. Now, I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's a sports thing, but it feels like he's been in exile for almost 2 decades. Truly. I mean, it's been at least a decade for sure since I've seen him do anything. And then I went and looked. He was on a staff with like Miami at one point. If that question was posed to you, and Isaiah, you're quite a bit younger than me. Reese is younger than me. How do you describe Barry Bonds to a 10-year-old who doesn't know who he is?
One of the best baseball players of all time with a very bad relationship with baseball, with a very fractured relationship with the game. Then I would say Google Balco. Mm-hmm. And I would just kind of let that person do the reading on Balco and everything that transpired with that. But, Bonds, I don't know how many guys that played with Barry Bonds are inviting him to birthday parties or sending him Christmas cards. Like, I just don't think people talk about Barry Bonds because when they played with him, nobody liked him. And when, it was done with his playing time, nobody liked him. And the Balco thing and the steroid investigation, nobody was going to go out on a limb for Barry Bonds. Nobody was going to go out and say, well, you know what? This is a great dude. This is a guy that I want to defend. It just wasn't the case. And I think that's what's been about his exile. And I like that the Netflix brought him on because clearly he's a talented baseball mind. I don't think you can get to that kind of level, even before the roids. Incredible base. Like there was a decade, 93?
Three-time MVP before any of this even came about.
So I was kind of thrilled to see him out there, and I hope maybe this is. I was trying to think like Tiki Barber had a similar relationship with people, and that he was just a jerk to everybody. And I think it's since been massaged. I think he's just since come around to not being a jerk, and he's been able to showcase his incredible sport IQ. Maybe that's the case with Bonds, but yeah, I did not expect out of the gaggle of celebrities they bring out Barry Bonds on Netflix.
That was the first thing I thought, too, because I only tuned into this for a bit last night just to see the spectacle. And I wanted to see the new format. And so I didn't see Bonds on TV at all when I was watching. And then I went to Twitter as my fiance said, you know what, we're done watching the Home Run Derby. It's time for a show now. I said, okay, that's fine. I go to Twitter and I see that I see people tweeting about it. I saw it was trending. Barry Bonds on here. There was a million different tweets about it. And so that was the surprising part for me. I didn't see him on TV, but the internet was having the same reaction you did, Bo, which was, we haven't seen this guy in a really long time. This seems like an interesting place to pull him back to MLB and baseball, but it also, with the Home Run Derby, is it not the perfect place to put Barry Bonds? Put him on there and just kind of, and even if he isn't going to be a part of any kind of commentating for the MLB going forward, this is a great test run. This is a money spot for him. Home runs, big bats, let him do his thing. And I thought that was a good test drive for the MLB and an interesting reaction by Twitter. There was about 1 million tweets about how he doesn't look as big as he nearly did back in the 90s.
No.
Shocker.
No. Neither does Joe Thomas, though. Like, some of it's that part, too. Like, no, it's crazy. And then I had forgotten that he just stopped playing after 2007 and was intending to play more baseball, and nobody in Major League Baseball signed him. Like in 2008, 2009, he was still willing to play, and nobody signed him. The Giants, nobody in the league. And he actually sued Major League Baseball Players Association and Major League Baseball for colluding to not sign him at one point in the 2010s. I mean, this is a mess of all of this. He did do some spring training stuff with the Giants and then just kind of went away and now has kind of been in purgatory for a decade plus. But it's hard to wrap your head around how big of a deal that was in the late 90s, Sosa, McGuire into Bonds. How that was, I would argue that, I think that's summer of 96 or summer 98 was Sosa, McGuire. I can't remember. Whichever year it was. That was the biggest story in sports. The chase down of Roger Maris's record. That was the biggest story in sports. In full stop. There's nothing in the NFL that was bigger than it. It was all anyone talked about for that entire summer. It dominated everything. And then Bonds came a couple years later and obliterated it with 73. And obviously no one's been really close since. Judge got 60, right? Wasn't he trying to have like the American League?
69 or something.
Did Judge get that many?
Because I want to say
he broke the American League
when
record.
ESPN was cutting into college football games.
That's right. I remember that.
62.
62. So he broke the Maris record, and then they acted like that was the American League record or wherever, because all the rest of them were national.
You can't tell the history of baseball without Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, and Sammy Sosa. And so I agree.
Clemens, all of them.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez, like, come on.
Figure the damn thing out. Especially if you want to, I think, in 20 years, try as hard as you can to bring back some of the nostalgia from this era. From that era of late 90s, early 2000s Major League Baseball. And it felt like that's what they're kind of doing with the Home Run Derby last night. You took the clock away, and you just let them slug.
Yeah. Yeah. It was entertaining. We'll get into that. All-Star Game is tonight. What we saw from the production from Netflix beyond the Bonds part of it. And then, is this working? And I know it's part of the poll question today as well. Lots of college football on the program coming up as the program goes along. We're off and running on a Tuesday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Sounds like you heard about our special sale right now, where qualifying installs are 40% off.
Yep, it's why we're now offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
Wait, what was that?
That was the disclaimer. I can make up all kinds of things as long as there's a disclaimer at the end.
I'm not sure that's right, Wilson.
Sure it is. Listen, I can bench press 100 pounds. No, I can't. That's a lie.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
The Diamonds Direct anniversary sale is right around the corner. 30 years of being there for the big moments and the small ones that deserve a little sparkle too. This Friday, Diamonds Direct is celebrating the way we know best, with you. Our anniversary sale starts July 17th with up to 30% off select styles, 15% off virtually everything else in the showroom through July 26th. Big celebrations call for big savings. Visit DiamondsDirect.com for details and appointments.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Okay, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit COPDfoundation.org today.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Bobby Carpenter was voted Best Talk Radio Personality by Columbus Monthly Readers. Catch Bobby daily on Morning Chew, 6 to 8 a.m. on the Fan's YouTube channel, the Fan app, and on demand on the 10 TV streaming app. Oh, and Tito's there too. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll have highs around 94 degrees with the top heat index in the mid to upper 90s. Lower 70s tonight, mostly clear skies. Plenty of sunshine once again for your Wednesday. It'll be hot, highs around 96, heat index near 100. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
You look at Bonds' baseball reference, it defies logic. He's the all-time leader in wins above replacement, all-time leader in home runs, all-time leader in walks, all-time leaders in intentional walks. The crazy thing is he only led Major League Baseball in home runs twice. Once with 46 in 1993 and then the 73 season, which was in 2001. Some of this stuff is nuts when you look at his on-base percentage and so forth and so on. But we all are aware of that if you're of a certain age. So the other thing I was curious about is, and Reese, you're an avid baseball watcher. Isaiah, do you watch often or some?
I am Guardians only. So I will watch many of the Guardians games, but I am not an MLB watcher across the board. If it's not Gardos, I don't really tune into it.
I think that's I think that's baseball fans, period.
Feels like it has to be, right? Unless you're across the board. That seems like an overkill.
Do you think is that fair, Reese? That most baseball fans root for their team or watch their team, but don't watch the league?
100%.
It's on the same way with the NBA. The NBA, I'll watch a little bit more of other teams, but pretty much just Cavs.
I got news for you. That's everything other than football.
Yeah,
that's everything other.
That's the truth.
Is what you just described. Is exactly that. You watch your team. You're in your silo with your team, and that's it. So, I thought that and Fish had a great point. He goes, this feels like this is being produced by somebody as he and I were texting last night, this is being produced by somebody who's in television or entertainment.
Yeah, this is Tony Petitti's home run derby.
Okay, so it felt that way to you too. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to ask you, because I am no longer the target audience for this. I don't watch baseball anymore. I don't follow it other than casually once we get into the postseason. And I was watching with the boys last night, and the little two were certainly a little riveted by it for a while, half hour, 45 minutes. They kept their attention, which is more than most things do. How did this land for people who watch baseball? The production last night, the show that they put on, the no timer, all of it. Did it win for you, Reese?
I thought I had said in the update 49,000 at Citizens Bank Park. I think I was 6,000 more than it was like 43,000. And it felt like there were about 6,000 Netflix characters that were running around. Yeah. So from that aspect, but I had seen was it the All-Star game last year? It was another All-Star thing that Netflix did where they had their characters from their shows, and they were doing a lot to promote what they were doing. And it's annoying, but this is an exhibition, so I didn't look too much into it.
Okay.
I thought the not having a timer was great. Just let them slug it, because that's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. We're not here to see if the guy can, keep his cardio in 2 minutes. Like, I'm just here to watch guys hit dingers.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, too. I was watching for the format last night, and from everything that between the players and online, because the reason they made the switch was back in, 2014 when they changed the clock because it was just too slow. Guys were taking way too many pitches, which didn't really happen last night. I thought it still moved at a decent pace, and it seemed that way online as well. But it was the same answers from all the players. It gave us a chance to take a breath in between swings, and then for the pitchers, it gave them a chance, too, to where they were actually able to kind of make a good toss, give them a good pitch. And then you could also watch every home run go all the way over. You weren't worried about trying to get back to the batter again before it even cleared the fence because you didn't want to miss another hit.
Yeah. I thought all of that. Look, Maximus, are you entertained? Yeah, I was entertained. It was fine. I watched for an hour. Then I watched the most recent episode of House of the Dragon. I watched through Harper. Yeah. I watched through. It's bringing it, man. It really is. Yeah. So I thought it landed the plane on all of it. You said that thing about how you watch the Gardos, and Reese, you corroborated that in terms of how you watch your teams. And I think baseball is probably the biggest example of how that shift in my lifetime has been the most dramatic. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game, when I was a kid, and I understand Tony Soprano, nostalgia is the lowest, remember when's the lowest form of conversation, but there's something to it. This was the event of the summer, was the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. This was your only chance to see a National League pitcher against an American League hitter. I remember vividly Randy Johnson against Mark McGwire. Vividly. I remember Roger Clemens against Bo Jackson, or not against Bo Jackson. Clemens was with the Red Sox at that time. I remember seeing Roger Clemens against Tony Gwynn. You would have these type of experiences because they didn't play. The sport was totally different. It was your one chance to see some of these matchups, and it was kind of your one chance to see the whole league. I used to love how they would and they'd wear their own uniforms, and you'd get to see how it all looked. It's obviously changed dramatically from that point. And I think what you saw last night, you mentioned 49,000 or 46,000, whatever it was in Philly. Reese, it felt like 600,000.
The crowd was spectacular.
Spectacular. And I think Philly, that's another thing. And maybe it was always this way. And maybe when I was a kid, they didn't win much. And so you didn't pay attention to them. But to me, it almost feels like Philly is right there with maybe even surpassing St. Louis as the non-Boston, New York baseball market in this country. It feels like Philadelphia, it feels like the Flyers or the Phillies run that city.
Yeah, having
them and the Eagles, I suppose.
Having every player not in a Phillies uniform booed when they walked up to the plate is it's such a win because, as we're engulfed in the World Cup, we're here for the spectacle. And I think that's what Netflix did a good job of making it, the spectacle. And so I get it if there's baseball enthusiasts out there, baseball purists that aren't thrilled with the coverage, but for an exhibition, what you're trying to do is add the spectacle to it. So for the 43,000 angry Philadelphia people at Citizens Bank Park made it for that much of a fun event, especially when Jordan Walker shuts them up in the finals against Kyle Schwarber. One, can't stand Kyle Schwarber. Bleep the Cubs in 2016. And two, anytime Philadelphia fan can just be silent, it's incredible television.
And it made me question, too, last night, because when I looked at the lineup for the Home Run Derby, because I'm looking for players that I know. And for me, similar to you, Bo, it was about half. And I don't know if I feel like there are stars in Major League Baseball across the board. Obviously, Shohei's as big as anyone. But I feel like they just don't quite have the push that they probably did 15 years ago. Even the big boys, when you compare them across the other NFL, NBA, do a really good job of marketing their stars. The MLB, and I don't know if that's a Major League Baseball problem or a baseball problem in the country as to why it's fallen off so much, but they have stars. They just aren't nearly as big as, and like if you asked the regular Joe that doesn't really pay attention to baseball at all, would they know many of the stars outside of Shohei? I would say probably not.
Yeah, like Junior Caminero hit a 500-foot home run that's still in orbit. Did your kids have any reference?
No idea.
For him or the Tampa Bay not-so-Devil Rays?
No, they had no idea who he was. No, they didn't know the guy who won it. They knew Bryce Harper. They knew him. And that was kind of the extent of it. I think what you just described, though, is actually something that happened in all sports other than football in my life. And I don't think that there's anything baseball can do about it. They've tried a bunch of stuff, shortening games, pitch clocks, play everybody, get rid of the DH, or DH in both leagues, all of these things that they've tried. The NBA is trying the same things. The reality is that when I was a kid, we had 3 channels. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have gaming systems. If you did, you had like a Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like how much Super Tecmo Bowl, and I played a lot. We have so many entertainment options now. And baseball, basketball, hockey, all of them. An incredible glut of games. How big of a deal can you make of a win or a loss when you just play the next day? Right? So the dialogue around it is different. Football is built for this time in our country. It's built for it. It's an event. It's a spectacle. It's once a week. It's built for it. Now, that does not mean that in these individual markets that this isn't massive. It is. You can see it in Philly. My God, that looks incredible. And I'm guessing most Flyers or most Phillies games are that way. And the same thing would be true in various hockey markets around the country, in various NBA markets around the country. But to the point that we were making earlier, if it's not your team, you're not watching it. Football's the only one that still has that, and I don't know that it's anything that baseball could have done to prevent falling into this spot. Probably not. There's probably nothing they could have done. Just as there was nothing that heavyweight boxing could have done or horse racing could have done for a previous generation. Things are different now. We have a billion options to watch things, and football is the one that kind of fits our attention span best because it's once a week. And I just don't know that you're ever going to get back to those things, and I don't think they need to worry about it. I think all of these leagues are very healthy in their individual markets and all doing quite well when it comes to financially. They just can't be football. Speaking of football, an old friend, Ish, returns to the game. We'll get you the details on that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Tri-State Men's Health, we are the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no 2 cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, you're your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Nothing feels better on a hot summer day than coming home to a nice air-conditioned house. If your AC is on the fritz, don't sweat it. Call the pros at the Waterworks Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models and can provide great savings on a Lennox home comfort system that delivers that perfect feeling. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Services. Call us at 614-232-2222 and schedule fast service today. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save up to $30 on auto repair with their AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid through July 31st. See store for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? Sup with you? Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
I guess here's what's up on a Tuesday. I guess the theme today is how do you explain this? Because here's another one that is a tricky one to explain if you go in the Wayback Machine a little bit. This news yesterday from my friends down at warchant.com in Tallahassee. Florida State hiring former Texas, Houston, and Florida Atlantic coach Tom Herman to its coaching staff for the 2026 season. I lived in the same neighborhood as Tom when he was here and knew him pretty well, would text back and forth with him a little bit and always enjoyed him. He had a little bit of a devil may care, cat ate the canary attitude to him, a little bit of I got the answers to the test. And then he proved that he did. He coordinated the offenses here, including the one in the national championship, at nothing short of an expert level. He then was incredibly smart with his decision on where to go next. He went to Houston. He followed Kevin Sumlin there. They had some momentum in recruiting. They had quarterbacks. They had all of these things. And he immediately won in Houston. And he had them ranked and had them on the ascent. And I remember talking to buddies of mine around the country, and inevitably when this would happen, you do out-of-market radio hits, they'd ask you about Herman. And I would say that to me, he feels like he's the next Urban. Like, I see no scenario why he's not the next Urban Meyer. To me, he had that charisma to him. He had that offensive acumen to him. He had kind of everything that you would want. And I wasn't alone, as it turns out, because he was offered the head coaching jobs after 2 years at Houston, the head coaching jobs at Texas and LSU at the same time. Now, you can be a relative neophyte in following college football, and if I ask you to say, pick the 10 best coaching jobs in college football, every single one of you are saying Texas and LSU is in that top 10, and most of you would probably have them, and I think correctly, both in the top 5 jobs in the country. I think they're on that level, or LSU's maybe just on the outside looking in. I think Texas is a top 3 job in the country, and they would both be there. And he had the choice of Texas and LSU, and he smartly chose Texas. He was a grad assistant there. He met his wife there. He was already in the state with Houston. And you said to yourself, I remember doing all sorts of radio in Austin about all of this and saying, this is going to hit. This is going to hit in a really big way. Tom Herman is a can't miss. And then it went off the rails. And those who know the history, is it as simple as Garrett Wilson is where all of this starts? The fight over Garrett Wilson and recruiting and Urban and Zach Smith and everything. And then really 2 coaching careers went up in flame and justifiably in some certain extent, certainly. From the outside looking in, it just felt to me, and this is the part that I was just dead wrong about, this all came way too quick for Tom, and he was not ready for this type of spotlight. And a lot of the early success went to his head, and I think he thought he could punch with Urban and on recruiting and all of those things, and Urban was coming into Texas and getting Texas kids to come to Ohio State and winning those recruiting battles, and Zach was going down there and winning those recruiting battles, and it got incredibly personal. Who can forget, okay, cool, hook 'em? The text message. Like, we all remember that. We all went through all of that. And And so he flamed out pretty quickly at Texas. It got really awkward at the end, and he flamed out about as big as you can, and ended up going into television a little bit, and then went to Florida Atlantic, and that didn't work out. It's as big of a flame out situation as I can recall of a guy who felt like a sure thing. So much so that a buddy of mine from Tallahassee texted me last night, and he's like, well, we got your guy. Thanks for nothing. And I go, well, hold on a second here. I don't know that he's my guy anymore. It's been 12 years. I haven't talked to him in over a decade. I don't have not my guy at all. But he goes, I was dead wrong about him. And I said, so was I, and so was Texas, and so was LSU, and so was everybody. Nobody had it. I don't know if Tom's been back here in years. And he did an incredible job here coordinating those offenses. Obviously, him and Urban, that got incredibly rocky, and there's no love lost with any of that. So him landing as the offensive coordinator at Florida State allows you to kind of reflect on that time and the job that he did here and all of the messy grossness that followed him. The crazy thing is if you're Mike Norvell down there at Florida State and you hire him, knowing Tom, like if this doesn't start well for Mike at Florida State, there's your interim head coach. So I'm curious, like if Tom hired him, if Mike Norvell hired him, or if the athletic director down there, Michael Alford, great dude, if he was influential in this, or if somebody else in the booster situation was influential in it, who knows? But now you have essentially an interim head coach who at one point was the guy in the sport who had next. And now somehow he's the offensive coordinator at Florida State.
Yeah, you were talking about Barry Bonds, making you feel a little old earlier in the show. Tom Herman being 51 has me feeling a type of way. He was, you were right in saying that everybody thought that he was going to be the next sure thing. And he's just one of those coaches that great football mind, but just couldn't get the CEO aspect of being a head coach, a true leader of men. And when I saw this news yesterday, I read it more as they're just bringing in an offensive analyst. I mean, obviously, he's got a little bit more of a title there, an assistant to the head coach. I can't imagine they wouldn't make the assistant to the head coach hire without the head coach being on board with that. That feels like you're setting your team up early to fail. In a season, they probably can't fail as hard as they did last year.
Well, and they couldn't fire.
No, they don't have the money.
They just gave him a contract, and they just built. We talked about this in the spring when I did that tour down there. Like, they just put so much money into their athletic facilities. Like they don't have the money for a buyout, and few would. By the way, like
so much money
what they've spent. Yeah,
LSU would, and that's about the list.
Yeah, it's short list, buddy. Absolutely, it is. It's pretty remarkable how the Texas thing, because everything he did was so smart. Those first couple of years at Houston, I mean, he goes 13-1, 9-3. He got Houston to the Peach Bowl. His first year as a head coach. They finished the year ranked 8th in the country. Then he took over Texas, goes 7-6, 10-4, 8-5, 7-3. But it was all the off-field stuff, and he was losing the recruiting battles in the state. And Texas didn't have the patience for it. And then they went Sark, right? Sark came in 21.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Because Sark's entering his 6th season. We'll do Texas at 11 o'clock this morning for our 20 most interesting programs. Charlie Strong before Tom Herman. Do I have that timeline right?
I think you do, yeah.
Oh, man.
And his quarterback the whole time he was there was Sam Ehlinger, who isn't a bad quarterback. Ehlinger, a fine college football quarterback.
And he had one of the best audio bites of maybe the last 15 years in college football.
Is that the We're Back?
We're back. And turns out they weren't.
They were not back. No, yeah, that was after the 2018 season. They went to the Sugar Bowl, went 10-4 that year, and went to the Sugar Bowl, finished 9th in the country, and that's when Ehlinger did that. And then, by the way, then he goes and replaces Kiffin at Florida Atlantic, and goes 4-8, 2-8, and it's done. It's done at that point. So, who the heck knows? One thing that's going to be really interesting, and we'll have ACC Media Days this week, right? Are they coming up
tomorrow?
Yeah, coming up tomorrow. What's going to be very interesting at ACC Media Days is how the league addresses, if they address, the looming deadline of 2028 of these schools being able to bounce from the ACC. And I am telling you, because I spent some time on the FSU boards yesterday, looking at some of the reactions to the Herman hire. And
how'd that go?
It was fun. My buddy's like, walk me off the cliff. I'm like, dude, 10 years ago, you would have wanted him to be your head coach. Like, come on. He's more than capable of doing this. He's still just 51. But one thing that is, they really believe they're out. And they believe they're coming to the Big Ten. Like, Florida State believes that they're coming to the Big Ten. They believe that Miami potentially is coming with them. But they believe that they're coming to the Big Ten. And the way that they're behaving on campus makes you think that they are coming to the Big Ten. And one thing to remember in all of this, if the Big Ten does expand to the South, one thing to remember, and I know this just from some of this is anecdotal, the amount of kids, northern kids who are applying to southern schools has never been greater. It's insane, like what the acceptance rate is. Go pull up the acceptance rates for some of these schools in the South, like big state schools, like Clemson and Alabama and Florida and Georgia. These are brutal places to try to get into. And these kids are heading down there, and it's made the world smaller. And I do think that the Big Ten is going to have an interest heading to the South. The question is, who are the teams? And as Paul and I talk about, and he'll join me on Thursday, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more because it'll be a topic of ACC Media Days. The reality is North Carolina is the top of everybody's list. They're the SEC's apple of the eye. They're the apple of the eye of the Big Ten. I could see Florida State being a fit in the Big Ten, but you have to give them some dance partners as well. And so how many do you bring with them? Like if you were to say to the Big Ten and Tony Petitti, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia, I think they'd probably sign up for those four. I do. And I think the SEC would sign up for 3 of those 4. I don't think the SEC wants Florida State, but I think they'd take the other ones. I think they'd take Miami. I think they'd take North Carolina. I think they'd take Virginia, may even take Clemson. So this is going to be a really fascinating next couple of days down in Charlotte with the ACC media. Going to be a very interesting afternoon. This one is being played in Arlington. Why is it being played at 3 o'clock? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. As a third-generation family-owned business, I learned early on the importance of relationships and always looking out for the best interest of the consumer. So back in 1987, I witnessed firsthand how closing costs worked and did not like what I saw. Averaging upwards of $15,000, the cost of refinancing was so high, it prevented borrowers from lowering their payment, while the cash to close on a purchase was doubled. That's insane. So 39 years ago, I developed a loan option without any cost at all. Instead of using your money, we used the lender's money. The result? A zero closing cost mortgage. Fast forward to today, and we've now saved consumers over $500 million in needless fees. So before you hand your money over to your lender, call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is right for you. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Get ECO.
ECO. Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get ECO.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get ECO.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get ECO.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist
or the pedestrian crossing the street. If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Summer is here, and there's no better time to upgrade your ride than at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're towing the boat, heading to the lake, or planning the ultimate family road trip, now's the time to save. Get $299 APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2026 Toyota Tundra, or lease the 2026 Camry LE for just $319 a month for 36 months and $399 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. Make this your summer adventure with the team at Germain Toyota of Columbus, conveniently located at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at GermainToyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus, where summer savings are in full swing.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Fan has a secret radio station. It's called The Fan 2. You can listen to the Bob and Tom Show, Jim Rome, and Buckeye stuff. Why do they pay me big money to whisper? The Fan 2 is on the Fan's HD2 channel and streaming on the Fan app. You're welcome.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey, fellas, listen up and listen good. If you listen regular, you know my friends at Diamond Cellar already guarantee the best prices. That's the baseline for them. That's how they do business. Their wedding weekend takes it to another level, though. It's July 24th and 25th. Get preferred bridal pricing on select wedding and anniversary bands. Advantages up to 30% off, plus special no-interest financing on engagement rings. It's a rare chance to pair real value with service and reputation that define Diamond Cellar. Discover wedding weekend, July 24th and 25th, Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center. Tell them Bo sent you. They got your back, I promise you, on that. The World Cup does not have our back. There's absolutely no reason for this to be played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is they're getting as blue. This is the Final Four with Kentucky, Carolina, Kansas, and UCLA. That's what they're getting. They're getting the top four teams in the world playing in the semifinal. France and Spain today, Argentina and England tomorrow. You saw the England numbers for their game against Holland. Not against Erling Haaland, against Norway. Massive numbers, tens of millions of people watching this thing. It's amazing how many people are locked into this. So I was curious, why are they playing this at 3 o'clock? Well, as it turns out, one of the things that FIFA does is their number one priority is making sure that it is in a watchable time period in their lucrative European markets. That's their number one objective. And then their second objective is a doable time in the host country. So I guess a doable time in America is 3 o'clock. So the priority for FIFA is for there to be these games to be played in prime time or around prime time, watchable in Europe. So 3 o'clock here means 9 o'clock in France and certainly parts of Spain is when this game will start tonight.
Yeah, Paris and Madrid are on the same time frame, so 9 o'clock there. And having Spaniards in my sort of extended family, like our Bill's parents, love to eat very late. So whenever we go to Pittsburgh, like they're like, oh, we'll eat around 8:30. Drives us nuts. Like, all right, we take food with us. So, yeah, we can have dinner then, but we're not waiting to eat till then. And so that's when they'll be eating dinner in Madrid. So it's perfect time. Perfect time.
So you've officially gotten old, Reese.
Yeah.
If you can't do
I don't know if it's that old, but 8 o'clock's too late for dinner.
Well, I forget it.
8 o'clock's always been an old time for dinner.
Yeah. I do remember, like, before we had the boys, I do remember every once in a while we would have dinner at 8 or 7:30, 7:45, something like that. If you're going out to, like, a nice meal and that was kind of the night, it was kind of acceptable.
Sure.
Now, if I'm past 7:30, I'm almost just to hell with it. I'll just go to bed. I'll do it tomorrow. Like, I'm too old for this stuff now. Is 8 o'clock an acceptable dinner time for you, Isaiah?
Absolutely not. I'm like a 5:30.
It's too late, too?
5:30 dinner time. I'm super early. Usually around 8 o'clock, I'm doing like popcorn or some sort of dessert. I want to be able to have a little bit of space in between my actual meal and whatever my nightly snack is when I'm watching my show. So usually me and E, like, we eat dinner before 6:30 every single night.
You're like Jack Klompus down at Del Boca Vista on Seinfeld. Like, nice, get the early bird special at 4:30. Able to suck that thing down. This is as good as it gets. I can't wait. I'll be doing my afternoon activities while this is actually going on, so I'll be kind of multitasking a little bit. But to me, France has been the best team in this thing by a pretty decent margin. It's hard for me to imagine them, because I know Argentina is the number 1 ranked team in the world, but it feels like they're getting by just the skin of their teeth. A little bit of cheating probably too.
What's a good FIFA World Cup without some semifinal scuttlebutt?
Yeah. There seems to be that has certainly been, and it's funny. So Nathan Zagura, of course, you can hear on the Browns games here. He was in Italy last week, and he and I were talking about this yesterday. And he said that, and I guess it makes sense. He said, like, in Italy, Balogun playing was the most stupefying thing they could ever wrap their head around. The way that, like, the fix was completely in with the fact that he was allowed to play after the red card. There was, like, they were so stunned by it. Like, he was being booed everywhere because he was.
How could they be stunned by it? It was a bad decision. But I just wonder, like, it's FIFA, guys. This is so, to use a golf term, par of the course. He signed, Balogun did, with Clutch Sports.
Saw that.
So I'd be interested to see where that goes, because I don't think they have. I mean, they don't have Mbappe or anything like that.
No.
So, like, Clutch Sports is dipping kind of everywhere.
Yeah, they really are. FIFA also, in light of all of this success, and this has been a stunning success here in America, is considering expanding the World Cup to 64 teams. Whatever. It'll all work itself out. You're going to get the knockout stuff. I have no issue with this. If this gets Italy in the World Cup and it gets some of these other programs in the World Cup, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You just have to change the way that you view it. You're going to have to change it to where just getting to the knockout isn't what it once was. And I think we already kind of adjusted that this year retroactively. The other thing I would tell you that's not going away is the hydration breaks. I would not be surprised if you see this in European competition next year or in the next couple of years. And I know none of them like it. The players don't necessarily like it. A lot of the fans absolutely hate it. But the reality is it's free money. It's free money. And I think once they did it once, you're going to have it the rest of the way. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up in Champions League, because guess what you can charge more for? They're seeing the money that FIFA's making on these advertisements and in these hydration breaks. To me, this feels like this is something that's going to infiltrate the sport going forward. I'd be shocked if it doesn't.
Yeah, they're for commercials because it's FIFA, UEFA. I'm trying to think of the other acronyms for European international governing bodies.
So UEFA just runs European soccer. FIFA's the world.
Okay.
And then it's like CONCACAF here,
CONMEBOL's, yeah,
South America. So they have all these various ones. But anybody who has a television contract to broadcast their games is going to say, my God, look what we can make on this. It's a no-brainer.
And when you think about it, too, for the USA World Cup, if they ever host it again, introducing the hydration breaks, it's because every single game in the beginning was at noon or 3 o'clock, and they were doing it as, okay, it's too hot out here for everyone to play. And then now they're saying, actually, we can make a lot of money on this. Maybe we should keep this around. But then you also could have just, from the beginning, I don't know, made some of the games prime time, some of the games at 8 or 9 o'clock.
It's never about hydration. It was never about hydration, ever. It was always about the money.
Once we get to 2030, you're already used to it, so nobody's going to bitch.
Same thing same exact thing is why they're going to expand. And I saw tweets about this too. Of does this take away from the prestige of qualifying?
No.
Absolutely not. If the United States didn't qualify, I mean, obviously they have not qualified in the past.
You're right.
Whenever that happens, you're like, how is this even possible? Like, it's not like one of the things of, oh my gosh, we qualified this year. It's how could we not qualify?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it would. And what are they at now? They were at 48 this year?
Yep.
So now you just get an even 64. It looks like an NCAA tournament bracket. The Euros will be thrilled. Another Americanization of soccer. Now we have a 64-team bracket.
They're never going to let us have it again.
Never going to let us
all
have
these
it again.
changes.
Uncle Dom coming up in 35 minutes. We kick off hour 2 with the real truth. I could not believe who was not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of the biggest positives we hear from customers is, I loved my Pella Columbus guide. We're there to be whatever it takes to make your life easy.
We've been working on our support as well.
Cool, like...
I made a pamphlet.
A pamphlet?
Double-sided, very thorough. Even put a word search on page 2 with window words like double pane, which is what my mom used to call me, but still calls me.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O-On Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O-On Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York. Craving the O? Now it comes to you. For loyal fans, the O-On Lane is now offering the O-On-the-Go catering delivery. Perfect for the office or any group. Order boxed lunches or group catering right now at theoonlane.com. The O-On-the-Go, delivered fresh, delivered easy.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
Ready to tackle those home projects? With a home equity loan from CME Federal Credit Union, you get an introductory 3.99% APR for 12 months to make those upgrades happen. From patios to paint jobs, your home's next chapter starts at CME. Visit CMEFCU.org to apply today.
1 million is the kind of number you see on a scoreboard and double check to make sure it isn't broken. Hey, it's Austin Ward here. 1 million seconds is almost 12 days. 1 million minutes is almost 2 years. Now make it £1 million, because that's what Awaken 180 clients have crossed. 1 million pounds lost, and by the time you're hearing this, that number is already bigger. I know what my 50 pounds changed for me thanks to Awaken 180, which was basically everything. So when Paige told me the news, I didn't hear a corporate milestone. I heard my 50 stacked in with everybody else's. Scale after scale, belt notch after belt notch, person after person, realizing this time is different. That's not one success story, that's thousands and counting. Awaken 180 gives you the plan, the food, the coaching, the adjustments, and free support for life. The next story should be yours. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. The Home Run Derby's been around since 1985, and since then, no member of the Cardinals has won the event until last night when St. Louis outfielder Jordan Walker outslugged Philadelphia's Kyle Schwarber to take home the 26 Derby crown. Citizens Bank Park in Philly will hold the All-Star game tonight at 8. Phillies ace Christopher Sanchez will start for the NL, opposite Toronto's Dylan Cease in the AL. Baseball's regular season resumes Friday for the Guardians and Reds. Cleveland hosts Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's at Colorado. In the World Cup, France battles Spain today at 3 in the first semifinal matchup. In college football news, the Associated Press will release their preseason top 25 this Friday at noon. The University of Michigan's Board of Regents will meet on Thursday to decide the future of athletic director Ward Manuel. The Detroit Free Press says Manuel's confident he'll remain AD after that meeting. This update is sponsored by Ramos Roofing. Request your free roof or exterior assessment today at RamosRoofingOhio.com. Ramos Roofing, reliable, local, built right.
10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Tuesday edition of the program. Uncle Dommy coming up in 28 minutes from now. We kick off the hour with a little bit of the real truth. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years.
Sam Darnold is not a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. Is that the real truth?
All right. This is from an ESPN. They're doing their top 10 things.
Love a good
right
ranking.
Now. They love a ranking. And this one, Jeremy Fowler, who we had on a couple of weeks ago, he did a really good job with this, but he kind of is one of the guys who shepherds it. It's ranked by coaches, executives, and scouts. So it's pretty legit. In terms of you're not going to get more informed, I would say, than that. It's not just one. It's from coaches, executives, and scouts to make up their top 10s. So I completely respect the list, and we'll get into the quarterbacks and where Joe Burrow ranks and Lamar and everybody coming up in about 15 minutes from now. But for the point of this conversation, I'm just going to simply read you Sam Darnold's last 2 years. He is 28-6. As the starting quarterback of Minnesota and Seattle the last 2 years. His completion percentage the last 2 years in Minnesota, 66.2, in Seattle, 67.7. His yards passing in Minnesota, 43-19. In Seattle last year, 40-48. Touchdowns, Minnesota, 35-25 in Seattle. He does turn it over a little bit, 12 picks in Minnesota, 14 in Seattle last year. He is a two-time Pro Bowler. He finished top 10 in the MVP in Minnesota. And by the way, he is a Super Bowl champion. He's the Super Bowl champion quarterback. Yes, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league as it stands right now. And I think it is probably his past that is creating a prejudice of how to judge him. But if you just look at the other guys on this list, and I'm not suggesting he goes in the top 5, and we'll get into this at greater length here in a dozen minutes or so, but the reality to me is that this does not reflect who he is right now, but it's still being held against him what he was previously. He's still just 28 years old, by the way, guys, after all of this.
And I believe 100% for right now, heading into this season, he has to be in the list.
Yes.
Now, if the list was over the course of the next 5 seasons, maybe you don't buy the hype, and maybe because right now he should get the Super Bowl boost. He just won the Super Bowl. Heading into the season, he should get the Super Bowl boost, which is put him on the top 10 list. He's had back-to-back seasons where he's played really well. It feels like he's getting similar treatment to a guy who I also know is not on this list, which is Brock Purdy a couple of years ago, where they're saying that the team that he is on is really good, and they're the reason that he played better this season. Obviously, a couple of years down the road since Brock Purdy's Super Bowl runs, maybe he's not being viewed as highly, but after you win a Super Bowl, you need to be considered a top 10 QB at this point, whether your team was really good or not, because he played fantastic. It wasn't like they weren't airing the ball out. Like, yes, they ran the ball a lot through that playoff run, but, I mean, he was a catalyst through the entire time and played nearly perfect in the Super Bowl, put together a fantastic run, has to be considered a top 10er. And also going down the list, there's guys that have proved way less than him in their careers thus far.
Here's the other thing, too, and this kind of even eliminates the Purdy, comparison you brought there. Brock Purdy has only done it in San Francisco. Not his fault, but it's only in San Francisco, an abundance of talent, an elite coach, all of those things. So that's how you could say, he's a system quarterback. Like Jalen Hurts isn't on this top 10 either. And people, maybe it's the system. And by the way, he's the best player in the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls he was in. But okay, fine, he's not in it. But the Purdy one, you can't even use that logic on Darnold. Yes, he was in that situation in Minnesota with that offense and Kevin O'Connell and all of it. He was in that situation in Minnesota. He was not in that situation last year in Seattle. They had a defensive head coach, really smart offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak. But the other thing that they had, and they had obviously the offensive player of the year in Jackson Smith and Jigba, good run game. But this was not McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and Ayuk and Kittle. It's not that. It's not even what he had in Minnesota. He elevated that team.
It's just funny, when he left Minnesota, I was like, all right, do it in Seattle. He did it in Seattle, and they won the Super Bowl. I love putting red yarn on a corkboard, and I do think, Isaiah, to your point, they're leaving Sam Darnold off this list for that reason. Because it angers everybody. The Super Bowl champion quarterback. What do you mean he's not top 10 in the league? What are you, nuts? Well, so it does it. Because I think if you pulled 10 random NFL fans from around the league and you said, all right, give me 10 quarterbacks, they're giving you Sam Darnold in that 10.
I think so too, Reese.
We'll get Baker next week, but I thought he was almost going to come off of vacation to come yell at us about Justin Herbert, who is 7th on this list. But we'll discuss that in the next segment. Penn State will make the college football playoff sometime during Matt Campbell's first 3 seasons. Is that the real truth?
You want to know why it's the real truth? I'm about to tell you. This is the opponents for Penn State.
Unrivaled.
Yeah, it's a good point. Unrivaled Penn State will host Marshall. They will play in Philly against Temple. They will host Buffalo. They will host Wisconsin. They are at Northwestern. Then USC comes to their place. Michigan in Ann Arbor. Purdue, Washington, Minnesota, Rutgers, and Maryland. I think he's making it this year. I think he's going 10-2, and he's going to. I think it'd be stunning if he doesn't go 10-2. Where's the third loss? And that's if he loses to USC and Michigan. He brought all of those guys from Iowa State over with him. There's nothing on here that's scary at all. Quite honestly, go 11-1, and I don't know about what their schedule looks like, for example, in 2027. But to me, I think that they could make the playoff this year. So, yeah, I think that this is absolutely the real truth, that Penn State will make the college football playoff during Matt Campbell's first 3 seasons, and I think there's a decent chance it happens this year.
You hit almost every single point that I had written down, Bo. Consecutive games against USC and Michigan, even if they split those. I mean, they might be able to lose both of those and have 10 wins and still get in the Big Ten. He brings over Rocco Becht, his former quarterback at Iowa State, and the rest of the crew, already adding to a Penn State team that it's not like they were bludgeoned in the transfer portal as they left. I mean, he came into a pretty good situation. Obviously, James Franklin goes, but there's plenty of talent on that team and brings enough of his guys over. Their win total right now is at 9.5. So if they hit the over on that, 10 wins in the Big Ten, you're probably getting in this season, and that's just the Big Ten expanding. There's a lot of question marks on, you're not playing everyone in the entire Big Ten anymore. And Penn State this season is the perfect example of Ohio State's schedule, really tough. They play everybody. Penn State's schedule this year, they play nobody. Really easy path to get there.
No, and guess what? James Franklin made a business decision here because I'm guessing this future scheduling was done with him. It's the same in 2027. They do have to go to Autzen and play Oregon in 2027, but the non-conference in 2027 is Syracuse, Maine, and Temple. And again, they don't play the Buckeyes. USC comes off the schedule, so they get Indiana comes on the schedule in 2027, so at least they have 3 tough games in 2027. 2028, same thing. Ball State, Syracuse, UMass. That's their non-conference. Now we go back on. Oregon's on, USC's on, Indiana's on, so that'll be their tough games. But they are committed to not play anybody in the non-conference that's at their weight class. So, yeah, they're going to get a lot of at-bats in this thing.
And if they're able to stack wins and build some momentum by the time the heavy hitters in the conference return to the schedule, they could be formidable.
Yeah.
Finally, the Columbus Blue Jackets will sign Adam Fantilli before the end of the month. Is that the real truth?
So I saw Waddell's comments on this, that they would do the same thing with Fantilli if, like what happened with Carlson, with the Flyers, with that massive offer sheet. Adam's not going to get $18 million a year. I mean, that ain't it. But the first thing I thought of when I saw that offer sheet the Flyers offered Leo Carlson was, my God, the price for Fantilli just got really expensive. And I would suggest to Waddell and everybody, get on this now. Like, don't paint yourself in a corner where you're having to, because there's zero way that you could justify Leo Carlson being worth $18 million a year. None. He's not that type of player yet. He's a really good young player. The Flyers were buying for the future on him, and now the Anaheim Ducks are kind of cooked. Like, they're not going to be able to keep that operation together. So once the Carlson offer sheet happens, that makes it more difficult on Fantilli. I guess to answer your question, I think it probably will be the real truth. And if it's not, then I think it's a massive red flag.
I hope it's the real truth, because this offseason was supposed to be crucial for the Blue Jackets, and now it just, can we hold on to everything we have? Because I thought Fantilli might be one of the first ones to go. Now it feels like the restricted free agents are going first. Marchenko isn't even in talks yet. A lot of questions here around the Blue Jackets. I hope that things get done very quickly for Fantilli, because right now it feels like they're trying to convince him why he's not worth $18 million, and they're just going through all the RFAs right now.
You said crucial. It could be comical if Fantilli doesn't sign before August.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about that at the end of last week when I was off? Did you guys discuss kind of all of that stuff, Reese? What was kind of...
Yeah.
I saw you had Porty on Friday, right?
Yeah. And we had Jody on Thursday. Just from the perspective of, with the inactivity that the Jackets had through free agency to arbitration hearings for 2 of their players, for kind of the lack of movement on the Fantilli thing, especially once Anaheim or once Philadelphia comes with that massive offer sheet. Because the numbers for Carlson and Fantilli are similar.
Yeah.
And so if I'm Fantilli's camp, Isaiah, to your point, I'm saying you are worth this. And now to the Blue Jackets, if it's not that, then the CBJ, aren't they saying, well, we don't think you're worth that? Then it's like, all right, well, then I'm not signing anything long-term if I've got to sign something at all with you.
I think a general rule of thumb for all professional sports teams is if you believe in a young player, sign them quickly, because the price just keeps going up and up and up.
Examples are littered across sport.
It's
every year.
Get ahead of it, man. Get ahead of it as quickly as you can. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase. Hey, had they done his deal the year before, they probably would have saved $30 million on that thing.
A lot of pie.
It is, man. It's a lot of pie. We settled on meat pie, right? That he's eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mike Brown, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They did pay Joe Burrow. What does the NFL view Joe Burrow heading into this season? Where does he rank among the top 10 quarterbacks in the league? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
This is Mary at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
Hi, I've been dreaming of having an epic college setup.
But your college budget is less than epic.
Way less.
Well, with IKEA, you can get everything you need for college, from bedding to storage and decor, all at a great price.
That's good economics.
Sounds like someone just found their major.
Visit IKEA in-store or at ikea.us to get ready for college. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
Make your biggest moments possible with Kemba Financial Credit Union. Right now, you can grow your savings faster with a limited time money market special or lock in a high yield certificate with terms from 3 months to 7 years. These are rates that outshine national online and local banks, giving you a safe, secure way to build toward what matters most. Check today's rates at Kemba.org, federally insured by NCUA.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather,
wow, it is a scorcher out there today,
with a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
If you're shopping for an engagement ring or wedding bands, timing matters, and Wedding Weekend is designed for that moment. Hi, it's Alice Johnson from the Diamond Seller. July 24th and 25th, enjoy preferred bridal pricing on select wedding and anniversary bands with advantages up to 30% off, plus special no-interest financing on engagement rings. We guarantee the best price year-round, and Wedding Weekend adds an exclusive advantage you won't find anywhere else. Join us July 24th and 25th at Diamond Seller on Selma Road or at Easton Town Center.
Summer doesn't start until you've had UDF peach ice cream, made with hand-picked peaches at our dairy right here in Ohio. So have a peach sundae, a peach shake, a peachy cobbler ice cream quake, and start your summer now, only at United Dairy Farmers. Peach season is here at UDF, but it won't last long. Right now, buy 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10. You're gonna want to stock up. Peach ice cream is back at United Dairy Farmers for a limited time.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
It's a busy intersection in your neighborhood. Drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians all moving with their own destinations in mind. Think of the roadway like an ecosystem. Every move affects someone else. And whether you're behind the wheel, on 2 wheels, or on foot, the road is full of signs, signals, and people telling you what's ahead. When we anticipate what's happening around us, when we're predictable, when we share the space, everything is safer. There's space for all of us. Read the road, Ohio. Brought to you by the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Common Man and Timmy are inviting select jabronis to the station for pizza. Hey, that could be you. Email goodcleanboy@gmail.com and tell us why you should be chosen.
Presented by Billiards Plus and sponsored by Paisano Peppers.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll have highs around 94 degrees with the top heat index in the mid to upper 90s. Lower 70s tonight, mostly clear skies. Plenty of sunshine once again for your Wednesday. It'll be hot, highs around 96, heat index near 100. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are proudly brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for nearly 80 years. We referenced this when we were having the conversation around Sam Darnold as a top 10 quarterback. ESPN polled 70 coaches, executives, and scouts, and they're unveiling this. I think they have the linebacker one drop today. Here were their top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Top 5, to me, almost feel like their own grouping. Like then I think it becomes And you could change the order on the top 5 to me almost however you want. So they go Allen 1, Mahomes 2, Stafford 3, Burrow 4, Lamar 5. Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow all injured a little bit last season. Mahomes had a season-ending injury. Burrow and Jackson missed games. Stafford was the MVP. Like, if you wanted to make Stafford number 1 on this list for where they are right now, I think that's more than fine. That's more than fine to me. I understand Allen being at number 1 and the understanding that he's the best overall quarterback in the league, but I do think at some point Josh Allen has to win an AFC Championship game. I think that's something that has to happen at some point in his career. And I think Lamar's at that spot too. I think that's one thing that Burrow kind of has in his back pocket over both of those guys, and that he's done that. He's gone to a Super Bowl and led his team to a Super Bowl, something Lamar and Josh have not done. Do you guys have any problem with the order of those top 5 and then the clear line of delineation between those top 5 and then the next 5?
So the order is the only thing in that top 5, because I do think those quarterbacks, and then there's a chasm. I don't know if the chasm's as deep as it used to be, because I do like Drake May. I like Jared Goff. I really like Sam Darnold. So I would have those 3 that we're trying our best to get into that top 5 category. But Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow, like you'd mentioned, all been there before. 2 of the 3 have won the Super Bowl, so it's tangible. You've seen it from them. Allen and Lamar, it's just tangible disappointment from them in big situations. I know, Lamar throws the ball and it's up to Mark Andrews to catch the damn thing, but then you've still got to go win a game the next week. And who knows if that's going to be ultimate swinging door moment, I think, in Baltimore Ravens franchise history. But certainly if you're going to give me a quarterback right now, give me Matt Stafford, and then I'd take Joe Burrow, and then it'd be Mahomes. And the only reason Mahomes is there is what's his knee look like?
Yeah, I mean, it was season ending, so we don't know.
That's a big damn deal.
Yeah, man. Like, the thinking is he looks great on the summer wedding tour with all of the posing that I'm seeing there. So it seems like he's going to be fine. And reporting from Kansas City is he's going to be back for the start of camp. But yeah, I think you could make a real argument that Stafford should be 1 on this thing as it stands right now, because you're not doing the future. You're not doing the next 3 to 5 years, and you're not doing the previous 5 years. You're saying, where are they right now? And nobody played quarterback better than Matthew Stafford did last year on this list. He is also the one who has probably gained the most from a legacy standpoint with winning the MVP. Winning the MVP last year, and he was headed there anyway, but winning the MVP last year puts him in a first ballot gold jacket situation that probably wasn't the case previously. There's something because you mentioned Bake with Justin Herbert, who's 7 on this list. Dak Prescott is 6, then Herbert 7, Drake May is 8, Jared Goff is 9, and Caleb Williams is 10. I would probably have Goff a little higher in that he has quarterbacked a team to a Super Bowl. I know Drake May has as well, so maybe both those guys in there. I think Dak's a little too high for my liking. I would probably drop him down a little bit. Caleb is more of a futures play, right? That's a little bit more of a futures play. I'm not sure that he was a better overall quarterback. Was he a better overall? Statistically, was he better than Jordan Love last year? I don't think he was better than Darnold. I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was better than Jordan Love either.
In terms of yards, he was better than Jordan Love, but he wasn't better than Sam Darnold. So he had 3,900 yards. Darnold was slightly over 4,000. Jordan Love, 3,300 yards.
Give me the Caleb Williams. Well, Love missed some games, though, too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Give me the Caleb Williams quarterback rating last year.
For Williams and the QBR,
I think it's 90.1. Is that what you have, Reese?
The quarterback rating?
I've got 58.2.
So that's QBR. 90.1 is the quarterback rating, though, right?
Let's see. I've got his completion percentage at 58.1. Is what I've got here from last season.
Yeah. I don't think he's in that. I don't think last year. Now, I believe in him, and I think he'll get there.
Yeah, eventually.
He had an incredible moment, but I don't think, as it stands right now, he's a top 10 guy. Go ahead, Isaiah.
He's exciting. He was, but it doesn't push you into the top 10. The playoff moments for him were fantastic. I mean, to come back over and over and over again. He had a great finish to the season. I think it was ups and downs kind of throughout the regular season. But to make the top 10 list here, I think it's a futures play. I think it's probably a safe play because he looks like one of the top premier quarterbacks about 4 to 5 times a game.
And
where it's like he looks like Josh Allen. He looks like Patrick Mahomes. But then there's a couple plays a game where you're like, oh, that should have just been a completion. That was a throw into the ground.
And to your, the ESPN-ness of this, because QBR is an ESPN creation.
Yep.
Jordan Love was third in the league behind Brock Purdy and Drake May.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're able to have those conversations because you look at QBR and then rating right next to it on the player passing stats, and the layperson be like, I don't know.
Yeah, what the
hell even is that?
Yeah. You mentioned that Bake would be up in arms and potentially driving back from Daytona, which is, I believe, where he is. He might call in to bitch about Herbert. Here's what this is where I am with Herbert. I think that he should be 6 on this list, and I think Justin Herbert is Matthew Stafford. And I think what you are seeing in the way that his peers, the coaches, executives, and scouts, and even players view Herbert is very similar to conversations around Matthew Stafford when he was in Detroit. A lot of people with Stafford in Detroit were like, well, he can't win the big one. He can't do this. He can't win playoff games. Big arm, big talent. But I remember talking to Bob about this when he and I were doing the offseason show 15 years ago. And Bob played with Matthew, obviously, in Detroit. And I've talked to him about this. I've talked to Threes about it. Guys who played in the league revered Stafford in Detroit. Revered him and thought that the only thing that was holding him back was, in fact, Detroit. Now, as it turned out, ironically, him leaving Detroit allowed for Detroit to finally vault into a position where they're winning the division and being a Super Bowl contender for a couple of years. We'll see if that window's closed or not. Who knows? But when I look at Herbert, I just see Stafford. I just see here's a guy who they really, really retarded the start of his career with the coaching decisions that were made there. Who was that guy who would just stare blankly into the screen? He's a Northeast Ohio guy. I hate to do like Ohio and Ohio crime. But, he had that job for a couple of years and was absolutely boneheaded clueless. They've got Harbaugh now, and it's stabilized, and now they're going to win a little bit. But even in some of those original drafts, they weren't giving him a whole lot of help. I think he's Stafford.
I think it was Brandon Staley.
Staley was the coach.
Is the coach that you're
he's a
talking
Northeast
about.
Ohio guy, yeah.
And I think I guess anybody can say they like Stafford or they like Herbert more than Baker because everybody likes him more. You can't find anybody that hates him more. For me, Herbert, it's what's frustrating because I see a lot of that, and I think you need to be better. But also, he doesn't play defense.
No.
And also, he's just got little control over some of the things that have really hampered his ability to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, and, 2 other guys who 2 years ago, if they did this list, probably would have been on it and are nowhere near it are C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Nowhere. I mean, you would have 2 years ago, after CJ's rookie year, I'm sure he was on this list in the top 10. And both him and Trevor are in massive prove-it time. A lot of these guys on here are in massive prove-it years. And I think the big guys at the top with Lamar and Josh and to a lesser extent Burrow, the time is now. Mahomes is coming off of an injury. Now is your time to go win the AFC. If not now, when for all of those guys. So I think there's a lot of pressure for a lot of guys on this list. And by the way, one last thing on Prescott, that tells you what the people in the NFL think of him. So for all of the slings and arrows that he takes for his play, people around the league think that he's not the problem in Dallas.
I'll leave you this hot take. Is there no more pressure, though, on Matt Stafford than any of the other quarterbacks, considering what his franchise did in the offseason?
I think it's opportunity more than pressure, Reese.
Sure.
Because he's already done it. So, this would just, if he does that, it just legacy. Right. If they win it again, it just puts him in a legacy standpoint where now you're in a top 10 quarterback of all time conversation if they can win a second one. So it's almost like his own personal legacy just gets better and better with all of it. But they're clearly set up to do it again. Uncle Dom in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much-needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems, and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
Plowman Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You're running that air conditioner because it's hot out. If your windows are old and leaky, you're wasting money. Right now at Universal Windows Direct, you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. Plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. That's 4 full years with 0 interest. Give them a call for your free in-home estimate today. 614-502-5220. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus 48 months, 0% interest. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Taberry.
Sponsored by CEC Turf and Tractor. Find your next Kubota tractor at CEC Turf and Tractor. Visit online at cecturfandtractor.com.
So I get a text that there has been an e-bike accident.
Yeah, you heard about it, huh?
What the hell is going on? I warned you about this. We talked about this stuff with when we were doing the Bridge Park thing. What happened?
Well, it was a simple accident. I'm not 16 anymore, and it took me a minute to figure that out. So I was going for a ride. I told the boys I was going for a ride with Coach Tony Bazzuti up the street, the new modern Don Vito. Anyways, he said, he called me up, and this is the way it went. He says, come on, me, you, and the wife, we're going for a ride on the bikes. Terry didn't want to go, and we're going to go see the 4th of July, the fireworks. I said, okay, great. I said, I'll ride down. He's just like 6 houses down. I go down. And I was just doing little circles in the middle of the street, and I lost my balance. It's like, when you were a kid, you could almost just ride it, without even moving. And I was just going real slow. Yeah. Well, I realized at 67 now that I shouldn't be doing that. And so I led over the bike, and my knee went down, and then my chest went into the pavement. I hit the pavement so hard I got a dent because I hit a rock, and it's like I got a little and then I hit my face. It's clearing up. I had a smashed chin, and then thank God I had my helmet. Wear your helmets because it was that quick, and I wasn't going a mile, maybe an hour. I mean, I was just barely moving. I was just like doing little circles, and man, I went down, and I laid there, and I lost my breath. I don't know if I knocked myself out or not, but I went to the ER, and everything.
Good Lord, Don.
I was beat up, but I missed the fireworks, and I realized now I'm not 16.
So I was ready. I was armed and ready for first of all, thank God you're okay. That's incredibly scary. I don't care if you're 67 or 17 or 27. That's all incredibly scary. So thank God you're all right. But then I was ready for like an e-bike. We got a real problem here, but this isn't really an e-bike fault, is it? This is just operator error on your end.
Yes, it was like I was trying to be cute. Just kind of, you know what I learned? If you're waiting on someone, just stop and stand there.
Get off the bike.
You don't just try to sit on it. Well, you know how you.
I know exactly what you're talking.
Kid.
I remember as a kid doing that. Like,
you know what I was doing. It was like when you were a kid, you would ride without having your hands on the steering wheel. Boy,
Absolutely.
that was intelligent. You did that, didn't you?
Of course I did. Yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at me. This is so free, and it is. But no, I wasn't going fast or anything. But going that slow, I now have a new respect. And I'll tell you what, it really the rib. It's the ribs again. This is the third time I've smashed ribs. Remember the first time I did it, I was wrestling Little Dom down in Hilton Head. That was a whole nother story. That didn't. Yeah, here, come here, boy. Let's wrestle. Anyways,
Come here, boy,
and then
let's wrestle.
well, I said.
How old was he when you said that?
He was like 21, 22. And we were down in Hilton Head, and we had been to the Frosty Frog, and we were having some fun. And I came back, and I said, he was talking about how he could whatever. And I said, come on, boy, mount me. See if you can pin me. That's the way it started. And I was going to do a move where you do the switch. It's like a little switch move. And I tried the move, but my get up and go didn't go. And he came down, and we were wrestling on carpet over concrete, which is really intelligent.
Really smart.
Yeah. And then all I know is he just came down his whole body, and I heard something crack. And I said, "Oh, wait a minute." And I didn't think I hurt myself until about 4 a.m. when I woke up in bed and I couldn't breathe. I said to Terry, I said, "You need to take me to the hospital now."
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first time. Second time was another bike wreck.
Oh,
I bought a bike. And it was on Terry's birthday. This was just a few years ago. And it was like a Forrest Gump thing. I went this far. I'm going to go a little further. And next thing I know, I've ridden like 15 miles. I'm out in the middle. But they had toe clips on this bike. Mm-hmm. Well, then I come back in, and I get to intersection, and I stopped at the light. And I went to put my foot down, and the one foot came out, and the other one I couldn't get out. And I just went over, and I went down, and I hit the curb. My ribs hit the curb, and I was laying in the street, and people are looking at me like, "What do we do with this guy? He's just laying in the street." That was a bad one. I actually busted ribs in that one. That was really bad.
When the person who inevitably helped you, how quickly did they realize who you were?
No one helped me. They just
they just let you to rot?
Yeah.
Like a carcass?
No one was helping me. And
they were like, "The hell with this guy?"
Said, "Sir, are you okay? Should we call an ambulance?" I said, "I can't breathe. Let me get out of the street."
Good Lord.
Yeah, there was not many people helping me. Yeah.
So I want to ask you some advice. So NBC, my oldest, is now he's going into freshman year of football. And so he's been lifting all summer and all the stuff that comes with playing football in high school in the state of Ohio. So he's been doing all those things. And he really wants to he really believes he can take me. Now, he obviously can't, and he has no idea that I now possess old man strength. How did you handle that with Damo when he started to feel like he could get frisky with you?
Well, in the beginning, he couldn't, and I handled it. But now, it's weird. It's like now it's like he can dominate me, and it's frustrating. But in the beginning, I was the bull. You're the big bull, and you got the young bull, and they're going to challenge you and all that, and so you handled it. You think you're strong? Here, shake hands, and I would do the squeeze on the hand. Do that.
There you go. That's a good one. I'm bringing that back.
Yeah, bring it back. Just here. Oh, really? You think you're ready to take on the bull? Here, shake hands. Oh, how's your hand? Now I got Frankenstein. So you know what? That's the greatest thing. That's the hardest thing, because now Damo's 32 years old, and he's in his prime. This guy, I mean, he drives greens when we golf now. It's ridiculous, and I can't. Oh, it's insane, Bo. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's cool.
So you know what I did? I said, okay, that's enough. Jack Nicklaus gave me, and for you folks out there, this is one of the greatest pieces of advice Jack Nicklaus ever gave me. I said, what's the greatest tip you could ever give someone? other than telling me to take up pickleball and give up golf. He told me, he said, understand that you are not DeChambeau. You are not, the Tiger Woods. You're not. Understand your abilities and play the tees you're supposed to play.
Yep.
So you know what I've done, my friend, at 67? My son, he gets up there and he drives greens, and it's just, and all I listen to is, "Hey, that was a good drive, Dad. I only went 100 yards past you." I now play the gold tees, and I have no issue.
You should.
With it. Zero. And you know what? It's made the games very, very competitive. I have not beaten him, but I'm getting better, and I am going to beat him. That is my goal, to beat him, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to go, "Hey, nice match, great game." Yeah. Meanwhile, he's running around. I got to listen to this stuff, like he goes, "Yeah, hey, I'm sorry you got hurt falling off your bike. Maybe you got now another excuse why I beat you in golf."
Jeez. I'll tell you what, you're not far off. You didn't need Jack to tell you this. Our old, God rest his soul, the late, great Earl Bruce, he would just tee it up in the middle of the fairway if there wasn't a senior box.
Absolutely.
He didn't care.
He would tee up any time on the course.
That's right.
Anytime.
Wherever he wants. You going to stop him?
What are you going to do? Hey, this is the way I play. If you don't like it, too bad. It was fabulous. The great Earl Bruce. Oh my gosh.
That is truly one of that lesson from Nicklaus. So I've told that to a lot of people though. And I think it's something golf, and on a serious note, I think golf should get rid of the stigma of, senior tees, women's tees. It almost should be by handicap. Yeah. Play the tees for your handicap, not your age or sex or anything, but just your handicap. If you're at 20 plus, there's no reason for you to be at the men's tees.
It would make the game fun. It's like every year when they allow us, and I love that they allow us to play at Muirfield on the championship course. We get to play it like a month before the pros, but they make us play it back, and they make us walk.
Yeah.
Because Jack wants you to understand that the golfers are athletes. And I agree. And, you think about when, there was the big debate, should guys with disabilities be allowed to ride in a golf cart? Well, walking is a real big part of the game because, I could you imagine having to walk 4 days in a row at Muirfield Village?
Nah.
I mean, you have to be in shape. You have to be in shape, and that's a part of the game. And Jack wants you to realize it, but I realize it. Uncle, let me ride in a golf cart.
I'm with you. Well, listen, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay, and that everything's going well. And lesson learned. We're not 16 anymore, buddy.
Yeah, and I've got something in my basement. I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to send it to you and show you. I'll post it today.
Okay.
I really don't have an X account anymore. I'm going to do it on Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on that. I'll look for it and we'll do it, and then I'll post it on Twitter. I'll post it on my Twitter, on my X.
It's a little surprise that I got in my basement. Just someone I'm hanging with. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Okay, I look forward to this.
Something I have down there. All right.
Good talking to you, buddy. Glad
you're
well.
All right, brother. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too, buddy. There he goes. Tuesdays with DeBerry on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. AmazonBusiness.com.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in 1 day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint. ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Are you ready to tackle those home projects? Whether it's a new patio, fresh paint, or just some more space, now's the perfect time to make it happen with a home equity loan from CME Federal Credit Union. You'll get an introductory 3.99% APR for 12 months, giving you the flexibility to take on those dream house projects. Your home's next chapter starts at CME. Visit CMEFCU.org to apply today and to get your plans underway. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red-hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early, bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead, and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Common Man and Timmy.
How could we be held responsible for
We're not.
what the children... No, I believe the children are
Much like
future.
smoking cigarettes, there's a warning label on this show.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company. The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Tuesday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bengals left tackle Orlando Brown Jr. appeared on a recent episode of the Locked On Bengals podcast and expressed supreme confidence in Cincinnati's offensive line.
I say this confidently, man. I really feel like we got the best pass protection unit in the NFL. There isn't a lot of groups that, you know, I think could come do what we do on a week-to-week basis. and have the success that we've had, man, especially with the circumstances. As you guys know, pass protection is the hardest thing to do in the sport, in my opinion, probably outside of a few other things like playing quarterback and man-to-man coverage at corner outside. But the glaring mistakes as an offensive lineman are always massive, compared to other positions because, the quarterback is normally the moneymaker and the most important guy on the team. But our unit is so strong in pass protection, man.
Thing or not a thing?
I think he's right. I think they are. I think it's the best offensive line Burrow's played for. I think this is the best Bengals team that Burrow has ever played for. I think both their lines of scrimmage are ready to go, potential to be dominant, and barring injury, the Cincinnati Bengals should win the AFC. I think they're the best team in the AFC. I think they're the best roster in the AFC. Look for holes. Where are they? You're going to linebacker? It's not in the skill stuff. Maybe corner a little. Maybe not as great as corner. But they have one of the best quarterbacks. They have the best receiving core. They have a really good offensive line. They can run it. Their defensive line has been vastly improved. I'm sorry, Bengals fans. Expectations should be on you, and you should win the AFC this year.
The pressure is on for every single reason you just listed, Bo. And for me, the Bengals offensive line doesn't even have to be a top 5 offensive line in the NFL. They just need to do enough to keep Burrow upright for the entire season. Mm-hmm. You talk about the circumstances they've had the past couple of years. The only circumstance you've had to worry about is, can we keep our quarterback healthy? The number one job. It's a difficult job. It's hard to play corner. It's hard to play offensive line. It's hard to do these things, but it is your job. And they have so remarkably failed at that the past couple of seasons. It's the one thing that's really, really held them back outside of the terrible defense that they've played. But this season's kind of make or break. Where have you been at? We've been at this cusp for the past 3 years since they've left the Super Bowl of, are you guys going to get back? Are we going to be in the running to get back? So the pressure's not only on the Bengals, but now the pressure shifts. The pressure's on Joe Burrow. Get him there.
MLB.
Yeah, I think you're right.
MLB reporter Jim Callis reported Monday, number 1 overall pick, Rock Chalowski, which is an incredible name, has passed his physical and will sign with the White Sox for $10.35 million. It shatters an MLB draft bonus record of $9.3 million set by Chase Burns and Charlie Condon in 2024. Jim says that Chalowski is the best all-around college shortstop since Troy Tulowitzki. Thing or not a thing?
Mike's happy, right? He's the only White Sox fan I know. I assume he's pretty happy by this. This kid's a sure thing, I guess. Is that what I'm led to believe here? I'm going to say not a thing because I think the money is just going to keep going up on all of this stuff. The one thing that I do think is interesting is how baseball – is it a leverage thing, Reese? I'll ask you because I don't know. Is it a leverage thing with some of these guys? Like they have the opportunity to do something else and so they have to pay some of them more? Because how long ago was it when the Guardians had the number 1 pick?
2 years ago?
2024.
And he wasn't anywhere on this level of compensation. Is he just not that level of prospect, or how is this just not going up and up incrementally?
So I think it's a lot of a lot. Because I think Chalowski can go back to UCLA if he wanted to. I also think that it's the organization's expectations for the player. And if it's this kind of a draft bonus, then that's less money they might have to pay him in the contract. It's every organization handles it differently. Every organization views prospects differently, but Chalowski was unanimously the number 1 overall prospect in this draft. And I don't know the last time that was the case, where there was one guy, everyone's like, nope, he's the best.
That's the one, yeah.
Because Bazzana was 50-50. It wasn't just for the Guardians 2 years ago. There were people that were a little bit upset that they took Bazzana. It's paying off now. He looks really good. Obviously, he's going to be playing tonight as a reserve in the All-Star game. But my question for this one is the transition for Major League Baseball, are they starting to take their draft more seriously? Like, is it starting to turn the corner where the young guys are starting to pan out? Because I look at the past 5 seasons of number 1 overall picks. Obviously, you have Paul Skeens and Travis Bazzana. And Bazzana's draft is really good. We're seeing Sal Stewart right now with the Reds. He's playing tonight, too, in the All-Star game. But the hit rate on these guys still isn't nearly as high as the NBA, whose their hit rate isn't even fantastic. And then clearly the NFL is the top of the top for as draft scale. So I guess it's a little bit of a transition era, but maybe it is just the money just keeps on going up and it won't stop for a while.
And for Cholowski, I guess when you view him as the franchise shortstop, like that's such a premium.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think this is ever going to get easier. Like drafting, you're talking about 18-year-old kids. Like, this is why the NFL system is the best by 1,000 miles. They know exactly what they should know exactly what they're getting. You're talking about minimum of 3, sometimes 4 years of development from 18 to 21, 22 minimum before you're drafting a guy. Meantime, some of these instances, you're drafting high school kids. Like the Orioles, when they drafted Jackson Holliday in 2022 out of Stillwater High School, obviously had the pedigree with his dad and all of that, but like you're still drafting an 18-year-old kid. Skeens was known. I mean, that was lock, stock, 2 smoking barrel, good to go. Skeens in 23, then Bazzana in 24, Eli Willits last year with Washington, and then Cholowski with the White Sox. There's some interest. Spencer, some of these other guys that went number 1 overall that just didn't. But it's usually the high school kids. The one thing I do think I'm certain that as I'm looking at all of this, it does feel like there's a decent trend for more and more going the college route here. Although last year was a high school kid, but it's more college guys than before going in that number 1 spot. So yeah, that's interesting.
And this is big news out of the restaurant world. Olive Garden's bringing back the never-ending Pasta Bowl August 31st. For $100, you can get unlimited refills of select pastas, sauces, endless breadsticks, and the choice of soup or a salad. It was introduced back in '95, and it's been on hiatus for the last 6 years. The catch? Only 10,000 of these pasta passes are available. Again, that will be on July 16th when you can get them at pastapass.com. Thing or not a thing?
Okay, couple of questions. So is this, you pay $100 once, and then you can go eat
you get the pass and
forever?
No, it's 3 weeks, or no, a month. No, 3 months.
It's August 31st for a month?
August 31st until November 22nd.
So you have a 3-month, like a 3-month window, Reese, where you, for $100, you can eat all the pasta you want at Olive Garden?
Yeah, 90 days. Delish did the math, about $1 per meal if you ate there every day.
Oh, my God, yeah, but no. I guess, to me, I feel like they're winning as big as possible with this. I don't understand how the consumer would ever be able to, like, who's going to Olive Garden every day? It's been a long time since I've been to an Olive Garden.
I can't remember the last time.
And Olive Garden was, I remember when it debuted, like I was in college when it first came to Montana, and it was a big deal when you got an Olive Garden. That was like white tablecloth, let's go, when the Olive Garden come. I haven't been there in a long, long time. I can't even tell you if it's still holding up or not. But that's, yeah, good for them. Yeah, that's the thing.
I'd take it right now. If they were giving them $100, 3 months, I would eat there every day. If you could tell me that my groceries for the next 3 months are going to be $100, 100%. And they throw in the breadsticks. They just said, you know what? Just have the breadsticks too. I'll take it every day of the week.
It'll sell out in minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure they will. By the way, a steady diet of pasta and breadsticks, you're essentially like a 5-year-old.
Yes. And I will be for $100 for 3 months.
$100, you're in.
Oh, I'm all in.
20 most interesting. It's a big one. We're going to hook them coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
There's something that has always made small towns and great communities strong. It's not the buildings themselves, but the people and who show up for them. The businesses that don't disappear when the work is done. The ones that sponsor the local festivals, cheer from the sidelines, lend a hand when needed, and take pride in calling this place home. For more than 30 years, that's exactly who Newman Roofing has been. Yes, they install roofs, siding, and gutters, but what homeowners remember is how they're treated. The straight answers, the respect for your home, job sites left cleaner than they found them, and craftsmanship that's built to last. Because when you live where you work, every customer is also a neighbor. That's why Newman Roofing has spent decades investing in this community, earning trust one family at a time. Newman Roofing, treating you like family and our community like home. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
They say
gigantic overdraft fee.
At Wright Pat Credit Union, we say, hey, mistakes happen to the best of us. They say,
due to high call volumes, wait times may be longer than expected.
We say, how'd the kids' soccer match go? They say,
gotta maximize those shareholder returns.
We say, you deserve better. Wright Pat Credit Union. Banking done right. Federally insured by NCUA.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist? Or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fox Wednesday. Ice-T, Carmen Electra, Steve-O, Matt Liner, and many more will get schooled.
Idiot.
On the new show,
Nation's Dumbest.
After the return of
MasterChef Global Gauntlet.
Starting at 8, only on Fox 28.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Thank you for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make room for possibilities.
We've loaded the moving van and we're leaving a ton of stuff at our old address. Can you make it disappear?
All you have to do is point.
Can you come right now?
We're on our way.
We make space for hope.
We make space for dreams.
We make space for what matters.
We are 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Let us make room for your possibilities.
We can make your house happier.
And your future brighter.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. The first of the World Cup semifinals is today in Texas. Spain takes on France at 3 o'clock inside of AT&T Stadium. England and Argentina will battle tomorrow at 3 in Atlanta. Winner there gets Tuesday's winner in Sunday's final at MetLife Stadium in New York. The losers get the third-place game Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. In college football news, the Associated Press will release their preseason top 25 this Friday at noon. On Thursday, University of Michigan's Board of Regents will reportedly meet to decide the future of athletic director Ward Manuel. The Detroit Free Press says Manuel is is confident he will remain AD after that meeting. Baseball's All-Star games tonight in Philadelphia. First pitch there's at 8 o'clock. Phillies ace Christopher Sanchez will start for the NL, opposite Toronto's Dylan Cease for the American League. This update is sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Peach ice cream is back at UDF. Right now, get 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Tuesday edition. 20 most interesting, the Texas Longhorns. Hit it, fellas.
We'll expand conferences, we'll expand the playoffs, but we'll never, ever expand our interests. Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs.
I mean, this is a blue blood. This is a program that we are in the middle of a 2-year rivalry game against. They were here last year in a game that was a classic. We will be down there this year. Our game will be at night down there. It was a big noon kick, of course, here, which I'm not still quite all the way over. By the way, tomorrow we'll do Oklahoma, so you're going to get your Red River experience here back-to-back days. This is an all-in. This is an all-in as any team in college football this year. They were as aggressive as you can be in the portal. They landed the best receiver in the portal in Cam Coleman from Auburn, who was a stud last year at Auburn. They landed 2 damn near 1,000-yard rushers. And Hollywood Smothers comes over from NC State, and Raleek Brown comes over from Arizona State. They add that to the mix. Rasheem Biles comes from Pitt. He's a Pick Central native. They even figured out the kicker situation, which is another Ohioan comes there. Former Memphis and Ohio kicker comes into the mix. They've got returning starters like defensive end Khalid Simmons, who's going to be probably a top 5 pick in an absolutely loaded NFL draft in 2027. Ryan Wingo is back at receiver. He is a big-time player. Trevor Goosby's back at left tackle. And oh, by the way, they have a kid named Manning at quarterback who does return after... I'm interested to hear what Anwar Richardson, he's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, like how the Arch Manning year 1 experience was viewed down there versus how it was here. I think we have the lasting memory of how lost he was at times by Matt Patricia's defense here and some of the games that followed where they weren't great. They had some bad losses at the beginning of the year last year. But I also think, and I said this about a month ago, it feels like he's getting a lot of credit for that win against Mississippi State. A ton of credit for that one. And I think he was really good in the Georgia game as well. Last year they were 10-3, 6-2 in SEC play. They were one of the teams lobbying hard to get into the playoff. They did not make it. They did beat Michigan 41-27 in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, which, by the way, makes no sense to have a cheesy cracker with a citrus bowl. That's a pretty brutal one. Class rankings, they're Texas. They've done very well. Last year, recruiting class ranked 9th in the country, according to 24/7. 2027, they are currently 4th in the country. Their transfer portal ranking was 3rd, but honestly, the only reason it was 3rd is just because they didn't get a quarterback. In terms of everything that they needed, they got. Sark is entering his 6th. He's entering his 6th season at Texas. I imagine that he has more pressure than anyone coaching college football this year, and I think it's justified. 5-7 in year 1, 8-5 in year 2, 12-2 in year 3. Then they go to the SEC. He goes 13-3 in year 1. They lose in the Cotton Bowl. In the Cotton Bowl game, of course, a game that we took care of their business, and then last year, of course, they lose in the Citrus Bowl after going 10-3. This is if I had to pick one team of these 20 most interesting that is the most pressure-packed, win now, all in. Here is every chip we got to the middle of the to the middle of the table in the final table, the World Series of Poker. It's the Texas Longhorns. I don't know that anybody. I'm trying to think who else is in this conversation. Maybe Oregon.
You had said justifiable pressure. If I want to add unjustifiable pressure, I'll go Alabama and Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
But it is Steve Sarkisian, in my opinion. Yeah, Dan Lanning's certainly in the conversation.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it with the Manning.
Jeez. And what they did in the portal, like you look at the roster, there's no weakness. It's just like if Arch plays well and plays to, kind of the way that they think that he's capable of playing, then this is a team that should win a national championship or be in the mix to do so. Arch was decent in his first full year as a starter, 31-63, just 61% completions, which I think is a little bit troubling if you are an NFL evaluator, let alone your college coach, completing just 60%. Remember, Julian was 77. He ends up 26 touchdowns, 7 picks. He took a lot of sacks. He's mobile. He ran for 400 yards last year. The thing that gets a little tricky for me with Arch is, and I do this with anytime you're evaluating college quarterbacks, how did you do in the biggest games of the year against the ranked teams? Against Oklahoma in a win, he went 21-27, 166, a touchdown, no picks. That was a big-time check-down Charlie game. That was the ball out quickly. Next ranked game, they beat Vanderbilt at home 34-31. He went 25-33, 328, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's a great game. That was the game I was referring to. That was the one that was in my head. In the Georgia game, he lost. They lost 35-10, 27-43, 251, a touchdown and a pick. In the Texas A&M game, he completed less than 50% of his passes, 14 of 29, 179, a touchdown and a pick. The coming out party, when people started to really believe in him, though, as I mentioned, was correct, was at Mississippi State. They won 45-38 in overtime. He's 29-46, 346, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Those are the ones that you're hanging your hat on here. He was pretty lost in the game here. He was not good. I remember they had a home game against UTEP. Yeah, here it is. Home game against UTEP. He went 11-25 for 114, a touchdown and a pick against UTEP. I mean, those are the things that are a little troubling. So he's got a ways to go too. But outside of that, they don't really have any questions, guys. Like this should be away you go win the thing.
And the one thing for last season was he that Red River, don't call it a shootout game because it wasn't a shootout. You had to have it if you're Texas, and they didn't have a deep threat. Like even his roommate was one of their wide receivers, and that's why they had to go get Cam Coleman out of the transfer portal. Why you had to have that win at the wide receiver spot. They're replacing 2 starters in the offensive line with transfer portal guys. Gooseby is a monster of a human at that left tackle spot. Yep. So I'm really excited in 60 days to see how Ohio State's defensive front pairs against this Texas offensive line. And last year with Matt Patricia and the defense he was able to command, what can he do this season to make life just as frustrating for Arch Manning with, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and Caleb Downs, you can't replace. No. There's no one-to-one comparison really for those guys, but Christian Allegro, are the guys up front ready for similar tasks. Week 2, I think, gives you a little bit better if you're both coaches, because you kind of get a sense to see what your team's going to be against a team with the pulse a week before. But, still, there's a lot of pressure with Sarkisian because all the pieces are there, man.
And the schedule's tough yet again. Similarly to the Buckeyes, they're getting Oklahoma and John Mateer. You're getting Sam Levitt and LSU, Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss. You're going to Texas A&M and playing Marcel Reed. They're all across the board. The Ohio State game's going to matter for them yet again this year because they've got tough games on the schedule yet again. And similar to Julian Sayin and the Buckeyes, they play a lot of good quarterbacks. So Arch is going to be in a lot of shootouts. The question is this year the year that he's going to be able to put it all together? And how much of the pressure is going to fall on him versus Sarkisian? Like, could there be a point at the end of the season where if Arch plays okay in some games, plays great in others, are they going to put it more on Sarkisian and say, oh, he's the problem versus Arch? I don't know. But I definitely could see that being an opportunity for Texas fans to pile on.
I think it'll be, I think there's a lot on both. A ton on both. You mentioned the schedule. They do get the reprieve in that they don't have to play Georgia this year, so that helps a little bit. But you're right. They do play Ole Miss. They are at LSU. So they have both of those games are tough. They're at A&M, which is always brutal. I don't think Tennessee is going to be much. And then Red River will do Oklahoma tomorrow. That'll be a pretty dang good game. We're a ways out, and we'll have a lot of time to discuss this. I think the Ohio State game's a must-win game for them.
Yes.
I think you got to win
100%.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a night game in Austin, and it'll be the first chance for Arch to get out to a start of a season where they have national championship expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a must-win. I think they've got to beat the Buckeyes in Austin in week 2 to set this thing up. And I think if they lose or if it goes really badly, conversely, by the way, I think Ohio State it's house money, I think, for them. And I think Buckeye schedule's tough enough that there's plenty of opportunity to get back as this thing goes along. I don't think it's a must-win for the Buckeyes at all. We want to, obviously, and certainly not expecting anything less than that. But at the same time, for Texas, man, you that's a home game, man. And this is a school that recruits your state and beats you for recruits in your state and portal and all of it. Like, it's time to prove that you can be on that stage and win a game like that. So I think there's a ton of pressure on that one for that game in week 2. We'll hit the categories with the Longhorns coming up next in 18 minutes from now. Anwar Richardson at orangebloods.com will join us for Perspective. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Is 2026 the year you achieve your health goals? The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get Eco.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get Eco.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Bring bold flavor to every cookout with Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT. Kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O-On Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O-On Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
It's a busy intersection in your neighborhood. Drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians all moving with their own destinations in mind. Think of the roadway like an ecosystem. Every move affects someone else. And whether you're behind the wheel, on two wheels, or on foot, the road is full of signs, signals, and people telling you what's ahead. When we anticipate what's happening around us, when we're predictable, when we share the space, everything is safer. There's space for all of us. Read the road, Ohio. Brought to you by the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no! Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Have highs around 94 degrees with the top heat index in the mid to upper 90s. Lower 70s tonight, mostly clear skies. Plenty of sunshine once again for your Wednesday. It'll be hot. Highs around 96. Heat index near 100. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Reese's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and homes in Columbus are under constant attack by pests like termites, ants, or mice. Don't wait for an invasion. Protect your property and family with Rose Pest Solutions Home Service Program. The Rose Home Service Program provides year-round protection for one flat annual fee with regularly scheduled visits. Rose is local, family-owned, trusted by your neighbors in Ohio for over 165 years. Get peace of mind today. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. Time to hit the categories on Hook 'em. Yep. That wins. What's it called?
Texas Fight.
Texas Fight. Yeah. This just I don't. All of these remind me of the video game.
Yep.
But I've played a lot with Texas over the years. Who's your was Vince your favorite to play with?
Yeah, it's
on
Vince
the video
Young.
game was Vince Young.
So much fun. I'm sorry. Texas quarterback number 10.
Texas QB number 10.
Yes.
Yeah, QB 10.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. He was quite fun. I'll tell you, Ricky Williams was pretty damn fun on that game too. And you could run for 2,500 yards with Ricky Williams if you wanted to on that game, which was a lot of fun. All right, the categories for Hook 'em Horns. College football 26 adaptability grade. How are they portaling? How's their money? How's their recruiting? Are they locked and loaded, Reese?
I'd give them an A. You have needs, you fill them. You have recruitment, you win it. It seems, and I don't think they have a singular billionaire booster, but they've got enough enthusiasm from a donor base that includes Matthew McConaughey.
I had an A here as well, and for me, a big part of it too was they jumped into the SEC, and the question mark was, how are Texas and Oklahoma, how are they going to handle the SEC? And Texas immediately jumped in and played fantastic. I mean, they've shown they belong, and they've kind of dominated towards the top end of it. And Sark, he's done a good job getting transfers in. I mean, you look at Quinn Ewers right into Arch Manning, handled the quarterback position well. They've been set up for success. I gave it an A.
I think it's an A too. It's not quite an A plus, and I think the only reason, and just talking to folks that live in Austin who you interact with, I don't know if Texas is as desperate to win in football as, let's say, A&M appears to be, or even Tech, or sometimes even us. So I don't know if they're if the fires burn quietly as brightly for them, like if they don't win a national championship, fire everybody. But they have everything that you want. My God, it's an attractive city. They got all the money in the world. They don't have a singular billionaire booster, but they got a lot of them. McCombs went there. I mean, there's a lot of people who can throw some money around at Texas. So I think it's an A. It's just shy of being an A+. Uniform brand grade on the Texas Longhorns, Reese.
It's an A. It's almost perfect. Never change it. Sometimes the pants situation gets a little risque out there, so I wonder if you couldn't just do like a solid pant, but a burnt orange Longhorn, that's pretty undefeated when you talk about logos, and they haven't changed it, which is good.
No.
A+ for me. This is one of my favorites. The burnt orange and then the Longhorn logo and the white on the side of the helmet. It's fantastic. I really love the burnt orange jerseys, and they just look good.
It's an A+ for me too. I mean, it's just synonymous, like Texas Longhorns. Like, it just is perfect. The logo on the helmet's perfect. The colors are perfect. I love that they're just white and burnt orange. That's it. That's the list. I think they're all white. Their Stormtrooper look is my favorite, among my favorite uniforms. Like, if the Buckeye Heritage Stripe home is my favorite, then the Texas away, my favorite home, then the Texas away is probably my favorite home. I think it's just a flawless away uniform. Coolest to play there. They've had a lot, Reese.
I'll tell you what. They had a linebacker, number 11, who was so much fun to play as defensively. But it's that number
Derek
10.
Johnson.
Yeah, it's that number 10 quarterback for me, Vince Young, as the coolest. Like, Derek Johnson was just so awesome. I think he was, was he a first-round pick in 2005, maybe?
Yeah, he was. Just the city, I think.
So many cool players. But, yeah, for me, it's still Vince Young.
For me, I'm going with Ricky Williams. The face mask with the visors. The very first thing I thought of was just the thin face mask was an absolute monster. For me, it was Ricky Williams.
And he had the initially he had the reflector visor.
Yep.
You remember that one, like Sean Taylor had the reflector one. So it's hard to beat those two guys as the answers to that. And he certainly has not accomplished what those two have. It's got to be pretty cool being Arch Manning, though, doesn't it? I don't think he's the answer to this because he hasn't accomplished it yet. But if he accomplishes what is forecasted for him to accomplish, he might take this thing, which is a big thing because Ricky won the Heisman, Vince won the national title. It's all there for Arch. I mean, he's a Manning. He could have gone anywhere. He went to Texas. He's making $7 million a year. He does Viore ads. Like, the dude is he's right there. So he's not there. It's one of those two are the correct answers for this. I think Colt McCoy was pretty dang cool too when he was there. He was a really nice player. They've had a lot of dudes.
A couple of Shipleys probably did pretty well for themselves at Texas.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I imagine that they did. That's one of the great sliding doors, by the way, guys. If Colt McCoy doesn't get hurt on the first drive of the national championship game against Alabama, because they're driving down to score.
Yeah.
And they did score on the drive, but they're driving down to score. They're going right at Alabama in that Orange Bowl game. He gets hurt on the first drive, and they had to go to, I think, Garrett Gilbert, who was a true freshman quarterback. And if that injury doesn't happen, does Mac Brown get his second national championship at Texas? Does all of the program momentum continue for them? That happened, and they just never were able to recover from it. By the way, I might add that to the categories. One sliding doors moment the program would like back. That's a pretty good category.
Yeah.
Like one thing that happened.
Because Texas might be that.
It's a massive one. That's a massive one with all of it. Because they were kind of in nowhere's land for every year since. They've had a couple of here or there, but like this is the first time that they've really been aligned these last couple of years with Sark. Would they get an official visit from Vince Howard, the Friday night East Dillon quarterback, Reese?
They wouldn't have to invite him.
No.
Maybe knocking on their door. That's an A+.
Yeah, it was an immediate A+. That's like similarly to yesterday with Texas Tech. You're not very far away. Texas calls, you're answering. He's probably calling them.
You know, one thing I'm curious about in that state is like, does every kid in that state want to be a Longhorn? Like at birth? Like if you don't have parental pulling you to one place or the other,
yes.
Do you all wake up being Longhorns? My hunch is they do. There's a lot of competitors in that state, obviously, and A&M's a monster, but like out of the womb, is it hook 'em unless somebody pulls you in another direction? My hunch is it is, but I'm not sure about that. Coach grade for Steve Sarkisian. He is in his 6th season in Austin.
I'm going to give him a B because it feels like they should have achieved more in his 5 seasons.
I had him down for a B+. He did turn around Texas, which is difficult to do. It felt like a couple years in a row. Obviously, we were talking about Tom Herman earlier. It felt like they were kind of lost for a while. He's killed the NIL era here, but just there's 2 losses that have killed him, and it's the Sugar Bowl loss. Obviously, when they went on, and Washington versus Michigan, they dropped that one to Washington, and then the other one is against the Buckeyes. If he gets either of those, then you're in the A category for me, but you're staying a B+ for now.
I think he's B-. I could even be talked into C+. He's stabilized it. I don't think he's elevated it, though. I think it's just kind of, this is the minimum requirement for me at Texas, what they've been. I think that he's kind of underachieved a little bit. You mentioned the loss. I don't hold the Ohio State loss to him. That was a classic game. But he damn sure should have beat Washington the previous year. And if they do that, do they beat Michigan? Maybe. Who knows? They had more talent than Washington did. And you talk to folks down there who are Longhorn fans, he's left a lot of meat on the bone. A lot. I mean, to go Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, you need to start. I think he's got the most pressure of anyone in college football. Reasonable pressure. I'm glad you brought the point up with DeBoer because the pressure on him is not reasonable. Win it all, make the playoff too soon, or flame out. Those are your options for Texas. Reese.
This team had better win it all. Like they're in win it all mode.
No discussing it. It's win it all 100%. You missed the playoff last year with Arch Manning. If you miss the playoff again, we don't even have to talk about the playoff. If you miss the playoff, it's over. You have to be in the win it all category. You better pray you win a couple playoff games.
if he misses the playoff, I think he's fired.
Yes.
100%.
I mean, if he misses the playoffs. With this roster, I think he's fired.
That's why I think he campaigned so hard last season to make it.
Of course. Yes, this team should win it all. I said there were like 15 teams on, maybe 10 to 15 teams on our list, somewhere in there. I haven't done it exactly. I'm keeping a chart of all of this. That to me, I would not be surprised if they won it all. Then there are a couple of teams that ought to win it all. And this is one of them. Oregon's one of them. There's a couple of them that it's the stars of a line. Could be Notre Dame, could be Buckeyes, all of it. Like, go win the thing. Texas has all the pressure in the world. I think this is the most pressure-packed situation in all of college football. We'll go down to Austin. Our buddy Anwar Richardson going to join us in 2 minutes on the Horns. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, this is D. Miller. Declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with the free T-test. Stay on the treatment for 90 days and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. Book your free T-test at fixedbylowt.com.
When it's too hot to go out, it's definitely too hot for your AC to go out. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Pros are here to help. We offer fast repair and AC replacement for any cooling system when you need it. Plus, we're a premier Lennox dealer and can install an energy-efficient system for a great price. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit us online at thewaterworks.com. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Summer is here, and there's no better time to upgrade your ride than at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're towing the boat, heading to the lake, or planning the ultimate family road trip, now's the time to save. Get $299 APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2026 Toyota Tundra, or lease the 2026 Camry LE for just $319 a month for 36 months and $399 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. Make this your summer adventure with the team at Germain Toyota of Columbus, conveniently located at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus, where summer savings are in full swing.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
20 most interesting programs today lands on certainly one of the most for us here locally. That is the Texas Longhorns. When we talk Texas football, we love to do so with our buddy Anwar Richardson. Covers the Horns at orangebloods.com and 24/7. Anwar, thank you so much for taking the time, buddy. As always, let's just start with the obvious one. Is this the most pressure-packed situation in all of college football this year?
Are you talking about Texas itself, or are you talking about Texas versus Ohio State?
Texas itself, and then I'll get to the game.
Yes.
Just mean Sark, all of that.
It is. And you know what's interesting as we talk about it? This reminds me just a little bit of where Ryan Day was just a couple of years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Where you've had success. The team has done well, but there is the expectation that you're supposed to take the next step. Now, Sark doesn't enter this season in anybody's hot seat, okay? So there's no hot seat whatsoever. This is not that kind of story, right? But when you dedicate the resources that Texas has to this roster, when you've had Sark now is going into year 6, right? And now you have that pressure. And then when you have a team that went to back-to-back playoffs and then misses the playoffs, and there's a lot of different reasons, whether you want to point to the Florida game, the Ohio State game, 3 losses, SEC conference, whatever it is, at the end of the day, Texas didn't make the playoffs, right? And that's the barometer. And now all of a sudden you add in, okay, Sark year 6. Arch Manning last year. They've gone into the transfer portal to get a lot of additions. And it's one of those things that if you don't do it now, if you don't do it in 2026, when does it ever happen? Because we look at 2027 as probably going to be some sort of rebuild for this team. And so this becomes a pressure-filled season for Sark. We all know that the week 2 stakes are incredibly high, not only for Texas, for both teams, because as we've looked at the college football playoffs over the last couple of years, what the playoff committee has told us is 3 wins ain't going to get you in. It doesn't matter how you slice it, doesn't matter how you dice it, doesn't matter how you explain it. 3 ain't getting you in. So if you're from a Texas perspective, if you lose versus Ohio State, you now realize you only got one more loss for the rest of the season. And now the SEC, by the way, has decided to make your life more difficult, not only your life, everybody in the conference life more difficult by having nine conference games, right? So this becomes a lot more pressure on Sark because, again, it doesn't mean that they finish 9-3, Sark is out. Like that's not what I'm saying. But it means that the pressure that comes on him after that, the narrative becomes much different. This becomes, if there was a quote-unquote do-or-die season, this is Sark's kind of do-or-die season. And that's so back to your question, it does add a lot of pressure to him.
It's interesting. You mentioned Ryan Day, and I thought this was ludicrous at the time, and I said it as much on the show. But after he lost to Michigan in 24, if they don't win the national title, if they wouldn't have got into the playoffs, I don't really know what that looks like going forward. Like there was that type of pressure on him. But some of that is the expectations around here. There is a relentlessness to pursue national titles around here. How would you describe the attitude of that fan base towards the football program at large in terms of what is the minimum requirement? And then, because I had said in the previous segment, we were kind of going through some categories. I said, God, if he doesn't make the playoff this year, is he out at Texas? Like, I kind of wondered if maybe he would be because of what you just talked about with the rebuilding that feels like it's coming next year.
The thing that has a lot of coaches freaked out, and you're going to know where I'm going with this because you've heard a lot of people talk about this in the offseason, has been the James Franklin experience at Penn State, right? When you have a coach who 1 year they go deep in the playoffs, the next year they're 3-3 and the coach is fired. And all you've heard this entire offseason is coaches say, that's unfair. Like, look at what he was able to do. Look what he was able to accomplish. And then he got fired when he got off to a 3-3 start. That has a lot of coaches spooked, right? And so, yeah, it's interesting because the Ryan Day thing is interesting because of the Michigan losses, right? And you close out and you lose to your rival game in the last thing. And yeah, I mean, you would know better than me. Everything we heard from at least this side, it seemed like Ryan Day might have been a dead man walking heading into that playoffs. And then he goes on that run and all's forgiven. I think for Sark, when you start talking about the minimum at the very least is I honestly feel like he's got to get this team back to the semifinals. You made the semifinals with Quinn Ewers in back-to-back seasons, right? I mean, you made it. You can't deny that when there was a 4-team playoff, first year in the SEC, Texas goes ahead and they make the 4-team playoff. Then the following year, they make the playoffs and they have the win against Clemson, Arizona State, and, of course, the loss versus Ohio State. The thing that you really can't have, or the thing that Sark can't have, is that I had 4 years. This is what adds a little bit more to the pressure thing. I've had 4 years of Arch Manning, and the best I can show for it is what? I made it to the playoffs once with him, right? I mean, that you don't want that to be on your tombstone right there because there is that pressure, and I just feel like if you don't at least get back to that, especially with a team that is built, especially when they went into the transfer portal, when they picked up a Cam Coleman from Auburn, right, who many thought was one of the best receivers. And now all of a sudden, when we go into week 2, we can have a conversation of Cam Coleman versus Jeremiah Smith, who's the best receiver that's on the field. And it should be a hell of a battle, right? When you've gone to the transfer portal and you picked up a right tackle with Melvin Siani, you picked up another kid from, Western Kentucky, Lawrence Seymour, to try to strengthen that offensive line. You pick up 2 running backs, Raleek Brown and Hollywood Smothers, 2 basically 1,000-yard guys. So in order to make that backfield better, so just in case you might have a short yardage situation against Ohio State, once again, maybe you might be able to get that first down, right? Because so you have those guys. You know, they went and got a kid, Bo Masco, who's one of the better DBs. So they've gone out and attacked the transfer portal. They also have guys that they have Trevor Gooseby, who you're familiar with, the left tackle, who everybody thinks, may be the first or second, offensive lineman drafted in the 2027 draft. You've got Colin Simmons, who many people believe is going to be a first-round pick. I'm giving you Arch as a first-round pick, Trevor Gooseby as a first-round pick.
That's what I'm saying.
Colin Simmons, yes. I mean, I go down the line of guys who should be first and then second or third. So much talent on this roster that you say to yourself, you've got to be able to do it this year.
Yeah. That's from 30,000 feet. That's what it seems like to me. So the next thing I'm curious about, because obviously all of the conversation is going to be about Arch. And again, you can look at mock drafts and he's back at number 1 overall. And he was in that spot last year. He came here and was overwhelmed a little bit by what Matt Patricia did defensively, clearly. And then there was a hangover. He was terrible in the UTEP game, and for our audience, as our audience remembers. And he had the great game against Mississippi State and kind of turned it around a little bit. You were there for every game. What was year 1 of the Arch experience like? Did you see the growth that is justifying the belief that he'll be the number 1 pick this year? And what have you heard in terms of his offseason and living up to, quite honestly, impossible expectations?
Well, okay. There's a couple of different things, right? And I think I have like 2 minutes or so left. So if I do,
you're good.
I'll squeeze. Okay. So the thing is, Arch. The reason why Arch is going to probably be the number 1 overall pick is basic, just understanding of football. Okay. Now you go about it like this. Everybody who's an NFL owner is a billionaire, correct? Right. And so the one thing you as a GM cannot do is go to your boss, the billionaire guy who loves to make money, and say to him like, hey, I know we draft Arch, you're going to make more money in corporate sales, more money in season tickets, more money in jersey sales. I know it's going to go through the roof. You're going to be on ESPN every single day. Like you've got a Manning. Like I know this is going to be great for publicity and money. But hear me out. There's this right tackle from Ole Miss. Like, you're going to get fired, right? You're going to get fired if you try to complete that sentence, right? So at the end of the day, you can't tell your boss that I have the opportunity to make you more money by drafting this Manning kid, but let's just go in a different direction. It's a bold – that's what the movie say? It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for you, right? So there is that. Now, when we start talking about Arch from last season – and I'll be quite frank with you. I'm a person that looks at it kind of like a little bit like you, right? Which is, I can say to myself, people will like to say, well, he turned it around after that Mississippi State game. Georgia still happened. Like Georgia, I'm not going to ignore that Georgia didn't happen. The whole team played poorly, but Georgia is still something that happened. And then when you start looking at, and if you have his numbers in front of you, when you start looking at his passer rating from last season, okay, there was 4 games in there where he was at like a $183 or above. Only one of those games was against really a good quality team, which was Vanderbilt. The other teams were Sam Houston, Arkansas, and then San Jose State. His quarterback rating was 143 or below in all the other games, right? And he was in the 80s in 2 of those games, which is the UTEP game that you talked about and the Kentucky game. Now, there's other variables to that. You saw last year this offensive line wasn't that good. They didn't really have a dynamic running back, didn't really have an outstanding receiver. So the weapons around him weren't that good. So I can't put it all on Arch. But to act like the thing that everyone did last year was they just thought automatically it's going to check the boxes. And it didn't. And I'm not going to sit here today as we sit here in July, 14th and say, I believe all the boxes are checked. The big test still comes for him in week 2 to know, are those boxes checked? Even though the Michigan game happened, and that was great as far as that postseason game is concerned, or at least the bowl game. But that being said, we'll still know a little bit more about him in Ohio State. What does he do when he faces a quality team or the quality defense, facing a really good damn coach in Ryan Day? What does he do then? So I think he'll be the number one overall pick for a lot of reasons. But if we're going to say right now, hey, who's the best quarterback on the field? If we go based on results, it's not going to be Arch Manning in week 2. It's going to be Sayin at this moment. And then it's up to Arch to prove it otherwise and to live up to the hype. And by the way, this is year 4 of Arch. And so the last thing I'll say on him is, for all those who said, hey, you should have started ahead of Quinn Ewers, last year he didn't prove that. And so this year he has more to prove, and he's got all the weapons around him. Again, he's another guy. If I say Sark's under pressure, Arch is facing just an equal amount of pressure as well, in my point of view.
I couldn't agree with you more. I can't wait to have this conversation with you in 2 months when we're leading up to that game, which is going to be nuts. Appreciate your time as always, buddy.
All right, brother. You take care.
All right, there he goes. Anwar Richardson covers the Horns at orangebloods.com and at 24/7 on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get you 3 things on a Tuesday coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic. Because this ad is 30 seconds, I can't get into everything I'm FDA approved to do, so I'm just going to play my jingle again. But first, ask your doctor about which FDA approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA approved Ozempic. Now here's that jingle again.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mapo's Plumbing.
Sure. We do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, which major sports league has the best all-star game format? Your options are MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL. 59% say Major League Baseball, 34% say NHL, 6% say the NBA, 0% have given a vote to the NFL.
Football punted. Baseball's still the best. I mean, you're still playing a game. It's better than the rest of them. I mean, basketball, they keep monkeying with it and doing all these play to this nonsense. And at some point, I thought they had it with the draft and all of that. I just think the big problem is the best players in that sport don't really care about it anymore. There was a time that they did, like the East-West pride was there. Now there's so much AAUification of the NBA that I just don't think that you get the effort from it. But baseball is still the best. It's cool. And if you ever have the chance to go to one, I recommend it. The way that the production, all of it, it's a really cool thing. I love the pomp and circumstance tonight when they introduce all the guys. It's awesome. All of that wins. All right, time for 3 things on a Tuesday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, we get back from Baltimore late Sunday night, and then NBC has a football camp this week with the high school team. And so he was looking for his receiver gloves and couldn't find them. And my wife goes, well, I know where they are. I put them all in a Ziploc bag. And immediately I go, what you did what? What did we do? We open up the Ziploc bag. These receiver gloves, along with another pair of receiver gloves and some wristbands and such from football last year, I would say the accurate way to describe the smell would be the septic tank of a slaughterhouse. It about made you gag. And I can't even really smell much anymore. And even I could smell it. Lesson to the moms out there. Love the organization, love the cleanliness. Sports things probably should just be thrown out. And if not, they definitely cannot be in some sort of container that traps odor.
I have a question, so I'll make this my second thing. Yeah. Were they put in the Ziploc bag upon completion of the athletic event, or was this when you were packing things to go home?
I believe that they were put in, probably was in his football bag at the end of the year. She went through it and thought it would be a good idea to Ziploc it. And it was like a living being. I'm surprised the damn things didn't walk out of the bag.
I'm just now trying to think out loud, like what you could do to get the stench off of it, and I don't know.
It's over. It's done. And by the way, just throw them away.
R.I.P. those gloves.
Yeah, they make 1 year of them, throw them away.
First thing for me, earlier on this show, we talked about the top 10 quarterbacks that the executives across the NFL ranked. And then I went ahead and just scanned the linebacker list. And this is a quote from one of the executives. He's Luke Kuechly reincarnated.
I know who that is.
That's what I like to hear about my guy, Carson Schlesinger, who was an absolute beast last season for the Browns. But it's funny when I look back at this, because when they drafted him, I believe last year, the first pick of the second round, I was pissed. immediately upset, and it's only because I thought we were getting Quinshawn or Travion in that spot. So when Schlesinger popped up on my television, I was like, Travion's right there. Quinshawn's right there. We need a running back.
Well,
we got him a couple picks later, which made it a lot more sweeter. But Schlesinger, he overcame the expectations I had for him last season in an incredible way. After having Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah the past couple of years, and then obviously losing him, that linebacker spot, we saw someone be so great there, and then losing it, and having Schlesinger be a beast last year was so nice.
He is knowing him a little bit, he is a face of the franchise, go by the jersey guy. And he also did the really cool thing of continuing to wear 49, which is just a cool thing to do. Yes. So, he checks every single box you'd want checked, no question. Number 2 to me, legitimately pretty jacked for France, Spain. Pretty jacked to keep an eye on that. The French have been pretty fearless. I hope Spain matches that and doesn't try to park the bus and play, pessimistically. I hope they both go and play, and if they do, it has a chance to be really special today at 3 o'clock.
BYU really missed an opportunity here. So the Cougars have announced a partnership with Entrada as their first jersey patch sponsor. Now, my quick Googling tells me Entrada is from Utah, and they're a real estate software. They do real estate software. So something akin to Zillow is what my base understanding of this is. I don't know why they didn't do Crumble cookies.
Yeah.
They just paid for your coach. It's sitting right there for you. Because some of these you just want for like a Raising Cane's patch. Like I don't want some energy company patch. Like if you're gonna do it, do like Monster Energy.
Yeah. I wonder who owns that company, if it's Ryan Smith who owns the Jazz, because he's feeling like the Cody Campbell of BYU. He did the DeBonsa stuff. I wonder if he's involved with that.
And it felt like, especially when you first think of Crumble Cookie or BYU, it's immediate. The connection now because of all of the James Franklin,
right? That he
Penn
served
State,
Crumble cookies upon
so good.
Yeah.
Second thing for me here, coming up, Rothman and Ice. Patrick Murphy coming on at 12:30 from Bucknuts, talking some OSU. Eric McLean from the ACC Network at 1, and then our guy Tyvis coming on at 1:30. So stick around and hang out with those guys next.
Make this one real quick as my third. After talking to Anwar, this is an as all in as any team. This reminds me of Ohio State in 24, this Texas team. Because it's rebuild next year. This is all in. That's the most pressure. I don't think Oregon can convince me of otherwise. I just don't know that they care as much as Texas does. I think Texas is the answer to the test, boys.
Final thing, LeBron to Cleveland more confirmed than it was earlier because he doesn't want to play with Joel Embiid, so he's not going to Philly.
There you go.
Final thing for me here, same as you, Bo. France and Spain coming up in a couple hours here. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait to see this game. Feels like the winner of this one has a really good chance of winning this whole thing. I'm pulling for Spain here today, but France, they've been fun to watch. Not as much of an Mbappe guy. He's kind of soured on me a little bit.
They got a lot. Luis is pretty good, and Dembele's they're fun. It's going to be a fun afternoon. We're back tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well loved. And while we smell